I'm that
Wait,
kind of
did you just go
person.
straight into it? There's no intro?
No.
What? Go straight into it? There's no intro?
In fact, the first thing that went through was you're just going straight into it. Yep.
They were like, are you sure you want to do this?
Nope. There is no are you sure? We just launch.
Oh, I'm going to pull it up on my phone because I want to see us.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the D team. Just a little warning. Content is not suitable for all ages, so and 18, get the fuck out.
Excellent.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Beautiful. You're so talented, Abishur.
Oh, Abishur! Go on! Oh, Abishur!
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Abishur, please go on, yeah.
This is a professional environment, people, please. All right.
I sense I've made a terrible mistake.
Let's give you that idea. We are wonderful, fantastic people to be around. Not even a little bit annoying.
You're the one who put it on your fucking stream.
Player is watching us now.
Oh no. We're so dead.
That's your nickname, Alex. Complicated name player.
We're so dead.
I have to try to spell out your goddamn name.
Why? I posted it in the general of the Discord.
Because I'm doing it on my phone.
Oh. You just pull up Discord on your phone.
Right now. Shut up.
Shut up.
Don't you hit me with facts and logic? How dare?
Yeah. Ooh, there's 2 people watching. We're so famous.
Oh no.
No, this is terrible.
2 more than are usually watching.
Ouch!
Oh wait, one of them's me.
The other one is me.
Well, no, one of my players is watching.
Jeez.
No, bitch!
The whole party is in the chat fighting to be first.
No, me! Me first! First me! What I meant was...
I can only live... God, I can only live in this subliminal space for so long. I need focus.
I like that it highlighted both of you guys as first-time chatters.
I forgot to erase a line on Vono's mouth that I can't unsee every time he talks.
You can never unsee now.
I don't think you'll notice because it doesn't look that bad, but
look,
it's there.
I think we look fantastic.
Don't look the gift minotaur in the mouth, okay?
You did this in like a week. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at you.
You did it in like 24. You did it in less than 24 hours.
Well, no, I started everyone throughout. I did laugh for a while, and then I did everyone else's in like 3 days.
I need everybody to just go for a second so I can screen cap it, use it as a picture.
Kyle, you're not doing it.
It's reading me. It says I'm talking. It's not going.
All at the same time.
It does. Yours is just subtle.
Wait a second. Wait. On the count of 3, including you, Abishur. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Dear God.
All right. Let's see if I can capture this.
Let's see if I can capture this. What are you gonna highlight cap it? Just everyone.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's get to it.
All right.
But not all of us lit up at the same time. I'm just gonna take it from here.
No, just push through.
You can I mean, you can. Oh no, that's just a lot of work. I was gonna say download the zip file. I said.
Yeah.
Vandrelina's in chat.
Vandrelina.
I like Vandrelina. I don't have a command for that, Van. I don't know how to do that yet.
Wait, is that who I think it is?
I don't know who it is.
It is I, the Lizard of Drip.
Of course, he has to do that right now.
Is he washing his clothes or what?
No, he just turned the fan on in the bathroom because he's gonna go shower. But I'm like, the fan in my bathroom is massively
so
loud. Yeah, that it picks up and completely.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it's good for a start.
I keep mine off and then I deal with my fire alarm going beep 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 for like an hour after I shower.
Your fire alarm goes off after your shower? How hot are your showers? What in the fuck?
It's saying
Take
like
care of yourself. What's happening?
Really
Lovely.
Note to self: alien cooks themselves during shower time.
I know so many people. I like cold showers, and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy.
You are crazy.
cold showers. I might be making that up, but I feel like he told me that he did, and I think that's crazy.
I love cold showers. I do them right in the morning.
I turn up so high that I get tired.
Aoife.
Thank you.
I end
And then
the
once it's
shower
cold
cold.
is when I do my hair because it makes the color not red.
What the hell?
All right, so long as I'm not,
Easier.
so long as I'm not triggering constantly, we're okay.
What were you gonna say?
I don't
As
know.
long as you're not
This is
triggering
an 18+ campaign.
I will take this moment to inform the rest of you that are here in the chat that it is an 18+ stream and not suitable for all ages.
Again,
Look,
I think
we
it's
did
mostly us.
we did the FCC warning. The FCC can get off my ass. If the FCC contacts me, they can also.
What's even the FCC?
That's a different department.
Yeah,
That's the
like, please get
FBI.
on
The
my
FBI
ass.
is seeing your ass.
FBI, open up.
Oh, I can do that for you. Hang on.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That one's so
No,
loud,
don't
too.
do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I turned it
No,
down.
please.
Please don't.
I've got it turned down since then, but I will not do it.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you.
you.
All right. All right.
All
Well,
right.
let's get this chaos started. So.
What? You act like you don't like us.
Yeah, what's it for? What's it for, Kelly? Oh mein Gott!
No.
Could you imagine just an 8-foot
No.
lizard
Confused. I
saying
was
that?
gonna cry.
Oh mein Gott, Ellie! You said that we are doing the Deus Vult?
We are doing the Deus Vult. So, let's start where
We are
the important shit happens. At the beginning,
You're in
Gross.
Sorry, I'll shut up
we begin with our introduction to this chaos in the temporary stronghold settlement that the D Squad has found themselves in. After your reassignment to your current handler, Doctor, whose name I totally wrote down on the other page because I'm a fucking loon.
You limp noodle. Oh, you Brussels sprout. That's the one.
Hang on. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Okay, there it is.
His
This
name
is
is
what-
Claudius Grimm.
Thank you. Yeah, now you do it after I find it.
Well, I wanted you to squirm a bit.
I know. I was like, where is it? I'm like, I have it circled at the bottom of the page with red pen too. Like, hey, it's right here. Just so when you lose it later. This is what happens when you make new pages every day. The D Squad's been reassigned to their new handler, one Dr. Claudius Grimm, a forced into a semi-retirement position after the death of Bahamut and the rise of Ith. The old man has become uniquely eccentric. His position as your handler is contentious in that this squad is not of the most reputable descent. You are a hodgepodge of, well, there wasn't a rule against it. This...
It's a team of only airbuds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Airbud rule is a killer, and everyone always forgets about it. The D Squad is made up of unique individuals that will be distributed and applied for military pressure throughout the enemy regions. Your tasks will be assigned in public dossiers, information available to you, as well as your handler's position to apply for them. Your handler and you are currently in a neutral standing. This standing will rise and fall based on your completion of proper assignments, your agreeability with their way of handling things, and how well you guys can manage to cohabitate with this individual. Your current stronghold is a recently acquired dilapidated manor. You spent the first week of your time here helping the doctor move his lab back into the basement and ensuring that the pillars that support the roof were acid-proof. A fresh batch of corpses has been brought in for dissection of enemy vampiric troops and units. The professor is hard at work, currently running copper wiring up through one of the old towers of this dilapidated vampiric manor. Most of the interior of this building has been gutted, but each of you was able to find yourselves a little corner to yourselves, and you've begun getting as comfortable as you're allowed to get in a military campaign. You find yourselves on the southern front lines, closest to the borders of the Silver Kingdom and Malkavia. This contentious point rolls across the entirety of the Blood Forests. Now, while the forest itself is named after one Victor von Blood, the ancestral watcher of this forest, is long since deceased and his family fallen into much ruin. But all throughout the lands you'll find old caches, storehouses, and weird dilapidated manors. Much of which was created more as a artistic expression than a state of repair problem. The old bat seemed to be just a little bit kookier than the bigwigs down in Malkavia's main cities was willing to deal with. This edge has become a pitched battlefield as the forces of the Gilded Vale have claimed much of the forest, but are having a hard time connecting it to the no man's land that separates them from the major cities of Malkavia. That's where you come in. Your team is to be dispersed throughout these woods and throughout the surrounding land to push back, make strategic claims, and dominate the region in the name of your holy matron, the goddess Ith. Your first assignment has rolled through. You each place your votes on what assignment you would like to pursue, and the old man graciously obliged. Your task is to wander into the Blood Forest, find what has been decimating the troops in your southern lines, and preventing the establishment of a new fort on the tri-cornered border between the Silver Kingdoms, Malkavia, and the Gilded Vale. The information you have is rudimentary at best. You know that it has been, whatever this is, has been striking at the night, which is not an uncommon point for the Malkavian troops, as they tend to thrive better, and their heaviest units, full-blooded vampires, thrive better at night. Your transport has been arranged, and you will be shipping out in a matter of hours. It will take you 1 day to ride all the way south to the full frontal edge of the battlefield, to which you will be set to investigate the most recent assault, unless one occurs closer before you arrive. You can each go through, starting with, starting in the order of the chain of command.
Fuck.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Lowest.
Going in the order of the chain of command, why don't you introduce yourself, any build information you want to share about your character's completion, motivation, and what your role is within the squad overall. Which I believe starts us with our commander, Arbisher. I think our
All right, that's better.
our great
go.
leader is dead.
He's
His
mute.
turn.
That's all.
Well,
Yeah.
not the first time.
Not the first time. All right. So, well, what is there really to say? Arbiter is, well, a little different for Dragonborn. For anybody watching at home, you see that green little mutant. That's me.
Green little mutant.
All you need to know, there's a diminutive Dragonborn in some plate armor with antlers. Very stands out in a crowd, although not a very tall one.
The crowd.
Yeah, the crowd. And he's been commanding D Squad now, replacing whoever failed to run it last time. So, that's about all you need to know. You'll find out more later.
And what is your position as commander?
Oh, well, I run the D Squad. I'm field operations. I technically have final say on what missions we take or don't take. And, well, it's my job to make sure all these idiots come back alive.
Excellent. Your second in command, I believe, is you guys were debating which one of you was going to be which. Was it I believe Vono took it, right? Vono, you take second in command?
Yeah.
That's the case.
I might need to increase Vono's volume.
A bit.
Yeah, try now.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Vono of the D Squad. If you're asking about who I am, you'll come to know me, I think, very well, very soon. But I am the lieutenant, second command, left hand of the captain, Arbiter. I'm the most senior member of D Squad, if it talking about the formation of the group. I've been here the longest, but everybody has died, so I'm looking forward to working with these individuals. After all, we are here for the same purpose, the service. And that is a glorious thing. As to my class, I will say, I'm a paladin, and a conquest one at that. As you can see, am a minotaur. Frame 7'4", 350, age 37, well-aged. And as we are preparing for the mission, I am doing what I normally do, acquiring the things that we need in order to succeed. Supplies, going over the lists, equipment that others maybe forget. Things like that.
Alrighty. Our third in command is our resident, our other resident Dragonborn, Daetherian.
Hello, I play Dracovia. No, I'm kidding. I'm just trying to figure out a voice for that. He is a platinum dragonborn, which is a rather large dragonborn, if you are not well informed. He is the he is the blacksmith of the group. I play a forge cleric. Yeah, I guess his place in the group has been a little bit more new in the group, just because, for those of you who don't know, platinum dragonborn are not, well, born. They are created by a higher purpose, such as like being selected by a goddess. In our case, the goddess Ith. It just sounds like I've got oh god, what's the word for it?
Sounds like you're doing your best Stitch impression.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm doing my best Stitch impression. I can't even speak right now. But yeah, no, he's more about the mission and more about clearing out the undead of the land and trying to win back the Dragonlands himself. And yeah, so he doesn't know pretty much anybody in this group all that well yet. He's just been introduced to them and then briefed, and he's just kind of going into it.
Then we move to our auxiliary draft troops, our non-standardized militant units for the Gilded Veil military. I believe. Which
I'm
one
going
of
to
you
remind
entered-
you to speak kindly
It's
of
a
my soldiers.
race to the bottom, honestly.
Can't tell God what to do.
Very much the worst.
A race to the bottom. Hang on, I marked
We're
it
the worst
down.
for very different reasons.
Yes,
Um,
very,
Oh,
very different reasons.
the breaking point was one of you actively was involved in crime, and that's what placed you the lowest on the list. So our first auxiliary unit that is here on special operation, Lathriel.
Well, I am Lathriel, and position-wise, I don't really have much of a position to state, and I do what I am told, but I'm here for very personal reasons. We should say I should honestly care less about what's going on in the background. But we'll find out later a bit more about why it's a bit odd that I'm here. Definitely the outcast.
And what is your held position within the unit itself?
I don't even remember. The analyst, I believe.
Yes.
So I do a lot of the annuls. I like to keep track of things. And I also
Say it again, slower.
No, I'm not going to. I am a hex blade, but a hex gun because guns are cooler than blades.
That's a solid fact.
They're just better.
And then last and least on the militant docking board, thank you, auto moderator. Really coming at DJ Drip Lizard there. I'll allow it this time. Don't have it.
What the?
Julius, our resident. What would your residency be considered here? The squad's other black stain, I guess.
It wouldn't call me a black stain.
That's
I think I am
hard.
good entertainment. My name is Jules. I am a beautiful boy. I spent my free time making myself pretty, having fun with very pretty people. But I guess under the technical discussion of the military, I would be a scout. Jules is an elf and a ranger rogue. His technical occupation is a scout. He is here on parole, and if he doesn't do this, he gets executed instead. But right now, his current job is to annoy Vono while he actually does actual work.
He'd be executed, you know.
I mean, Vono, I love when you look at me, but you're even better from behind.
Insert ass slap here.
Editor, get on
that.
So, with D Squad having been arraigned just a few short months ago and established, the other units that exist, we have Small But Mighty as your other squadron. A team consisting of their tallest member is an impressive 4 feet tall, and the rest of them considerably shorter. A demolition crew arranged of primarily goblinoids and a couple of gnomes that have a skin condition, as they like to say it. They were assigned to their divine holiness, the angel Erithmith. I'm pretty sure I cut off there. Erithmith.
Fuck that angel.
They they liked the cut of their jib and their desire to see its will done in any way, shape, or form they could. They enjoyed their zeal. And then you have A Squad, because they saw your guys' letter name pension and realized that you didn't take the first 3 obvious choices in an alphanumeric naming convention. And A Squad has went with Boris, the giant dad. They will be undertaking the other 2 missions, of which you did not undertake yourselves. A Squad has been assigned to the recruitment of the local dragon to the cause. And Small but Mighty is going to attempt an elimination and control point of a local town. So we'll see at the end of this adventure how well that goes for them. Things we might do throughout this might affect the other squads' successes and failures. I'm going to have you guys periodically rolling for me individual checks to see how things go for them. Yo! That's a name I ain't seen in a while. What's up? Sorry, my best friend growing up.
Even God breaks character every once in a while, guys. It's fine. It
Truly.
happens.
It's gonna
Hello,
happen.
God. The whole party looking up. Hello, God.
Chat is simply the voices in our head.
We'll have them scrolling across the table at some point.
Oh no. Oh no.
So, is there anything prior or anything pre-casting setup or anything you would need to do of the morning of the start of your investigation?
I've got a few things.
Excellent.
as
Run us through your
weapons-
list.
Okay, so as weaponsmith, during a long rest, choose a weapon, extend its crit range by 1 for a number of attacks equal to your level.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta pick a type of weapon. What all is everybody using again?
A gun.
Yes, gun.
A great sword.
You can't have my gun.
I
You
am
can have
using
my
a
gun either.
maul, as it were, that is about 12 feet tall.
Okay, so am I just naming like mace or great sword or what? Or is
I
it
think
just
it-
like
I think
martial
you should
weapon?
pick one of the weapons that we are using. I think it's an actual weapon.
Yeah, I think you have to
There
pick
you
a
go.
specific weapon. Yeah, you don't get to pick a category.
Whose mans are we stacking here, alright? That's the better question.
Probably the
Not
big
worry about
fucking
me.
hammer using son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Good
thinking.
guess.
I'm gonna pick hammers, so
Yeah, I was like, your main 2 targets for crit fishing are the paladin and the
paladin.
the assassin would be your 2
I am
best
an
crit
assassin.
fishers.
Rude. I got this based on talent. I will have you know.
Of course.
yeah, you know, I'm gonna pick the hammer. Give a hammer extend its crit range by 1 for a number of attacks equal to your level. So 4,
Perfect.
5, 5.
Per attack?
No, so it extends your crit range by 1 for a number of
Mhm.
attacks equal to your level, so up to 5 attacks.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
that
then
means if you roll 19, you have hit a critical.
Actually,
exactly.
Ooh, oh, Bono, after my own heart.
So this is something
Oh
that
my.
is this something that, since you are a forge cleric, is this actual smithing that you are doing? Is it more a
No,
blessing
this is
that you do
this
through
is this is chain of command, title rank abilities.
Oh.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. So I get to do that once per long rest. Okay, and then now because I'm a forge cleric, there's blessing of the forge. At the end of a long rest, you can imbue magic into a weapon or armor by touching a non-magical version until your next long rest, or you die, the object grants a +1 bonus to either AC or attack and damage rolls. You can't use this feature again until you finish the long rest.
I like that it specifies, or if you die.
Well,
Just in
if
case
you
your
just
DM's
perished.
like, they can be removed or they can be removed.
Yeah. Well, it's
So what-
also he
so do I
doesn't
just
die. He
stack
goes
the
missing
Minotaur?
in action.
No, I
Do
don't
I
think
do-
you want to stack it all on one person.
Make
Oh, I
our
mean-
main healer more tanky. I suppose.
Yeah, do not stack it on me. I am fine. I can do much
That's what I'm
healing
saying.
with very little.
Give Minotaur +1 to crit and then also +1 to rolls.
No, give it
Attack
to
and damage.
Avashur. Avashur's small. He's very
Small but
small.
mighty. You're right. Wait. Who's got the lowest armor class right now?
I have 17.
Not me.
16.
16.
The Dampir.
How dare you?
18.
I cannot deal with having
I've
a
got an
low
18
It's
as
not
well.
normal for me.
Mm.
All right, so
we
got
got
two
double 18s here
Yeah.
because we're Durgans.
Yeah,
With Gurgans.
with
Durgans.
Durgans. We
You're
got the
so
Durgan.
small.
I'll give a +1 to somebody's armor class. It's got to be one of the
It's going to be
16s.
in melee, so it's probably the melee people.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it to Jules.
I am not the 6. I have 17 in armor class.
Oh wait, who's the
I'm
16
18 now.
I'm the 16 because I have big hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well
Take
then,
the Bono.
I guess
They
take the
are very.
+1 Bono.
I'm as squishy as you guys think I am. I
I
am
think this
very
is
low hit
because
points,
you know
but
we talked about this a little bit in session 1, but we are true believers, Ethereum and
Oh,
Bono.
this is true.
are you true
This is
believer,
true.
Bono?
We
I
get
think-
along. We
I
get along
think-
to the. This is actually that makes sense. I feel like Datharian would buff up Vono the most because he's the first, like either Vono
Head
or
and shoulders for damage.
God, this is gonna struggle
Yeah,
so
he's-
hard. Abishur,
and then,
it's gotta be one of those two because he doesn't trust the other two. all
Just-
that
Oh,
much.
you
No, I
don't
don't do
trust
2 in 1,
me.
so-
I will
Dave,
say
that breaks
this.
my heart.
I
and
think
then
since
body wash
Bono in
registered
the
for
preparation for this mission is going around making sure that everything is prepared in terms of
I've been
supplies,
using
he will come to you,
Old Spice
Datharion, because you have taken his
body wash.
weapon to
That's the one
prepare.
I'm
Yeah, so
Oh
I
my
think I'm
using.
gonna
Old Spice
I'm gonna create
body wash will work.
when
because
Vono
as long
comes
as I
to
don't
see
switch brands,
Datharion,
it gets
Datharion's gonna be like,
damage.
please hand over your arms and your armaments, and I'll see to it that they are enhanced.
I must say, Datharion, that since you have come to the D squad, it is,
Yeah, I mean they make the 5 and
it is a burden that has been lifted from me.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
I have
Head and
another
shoulders has like the
believer, of course,
anti-dandruff stuff. And that's
Know that the blessing of it is not just with us in what we do, but standing next to us.
I'm just mid live stream, so I was like,
That I will
"What's
be
up?" You're all
using
good.
the weapons
You're all
and the
good.
armor that
Yeah, streaming
well,
D&D. Travis is in chat.
blessed by her herself,
What's
since she
up,
brought
bud?
that dragon.
Oh, goodness.
It does
Well.
my heart well, and I thank you for that,
Okay,
friend.
love you. Bye.
Well, I'm glad. that
Just
it
get the
didn't
just
be that way.
kiss already. The tension is just so high between you two. It's making me a little
Jules,
jealous.
I was wondering where you were hiding. I look around.
Yeah. You see Jules
Da-
very short to you.
Datharion's still looking around. I still don't see her. Where?
You want to
or
look
see
for...
see them. I'm sorry. Oh, give me a
He,
second.
him. Jules is
Yeah,
a he,
thank you.
him.
I was like,
Jules
everyone
is
in the
a
squad
dude.
uses he.
him.
This is an entire party of males.
Yeah.
Les.
This is a male-dominated environment.
Male stuff.
Bruno will say,
No,
if
no,
you're ever
no.
looking for Jules, just look in the corner, in the shadow. Usually you're skulking around there.
Oh, I thought you were
love
just
your
gonna tell me to
attention,
look
Bono.
down.
I would never hide. I just like being behind you. It gives me the best view.
Have
Anyway,
you prepared the
Bruno,
rations for the pack horses?
what are you talking about? That is the ration.
Well, this was what Jules's morning chore was before we got ready, and well, if not for us, for
You're
the
doing
horses'
great
sake,
at that. I don't feel like I need the help.
just think for the horses, all right?
So-
Why would I use a horse? I will
Don't
just
forget
go.
them.
I'll just be free. I'll
I'll
just run.
Werner
Become
just
horse.
shakes his head and he'll collect them all and the chainmail from Datharion, kind of give him a nod, like, thanks again. And he'll go leaving these two to prepare some other things as well.
Yeah. So I guess so. That'll end the weaponsmith and the blessing of the forge. I now can. Jesus, I've got so much. It's a 1 hour. It's a 1 hour long ritual that crafts a non magical item that must include some metal, a simple or martial weapon, a suit of armor, 10 pieces of ammunition, a set of tools, or another metal object. The thing you create can be something that is worth no more than 100 gold pieces.
Jules is gonna like very coyly rub his hand against your shoulder, stay and go, "May I have some ammunition, please? I would be so thankful for it."
Vatharian is just like looking forward towards Vuno and then slowly turns towards towards Jules and goes,
Mm,
"And to what do I owe you this great blessing?"
mm. I will save your life, I guess. Or we can have fun in other ways. How do you want to be paid?
Oh. Um, you know what? Yeah, we'll
Don't
just
get
make
my heart so excited, you cold-blooded monster, you.
Vatharian don't like that.
I'm not sure how to handle this scenario. They didn't cover this in orientation.
Bruno, help.
There is
Bruno,
no
Get this
answer.
thing off of me.
Bruno has totally dodged and put Jules off on
Bruno,
so he doesn't have to deal with this.
Bruno, where'd you go?
He left.
Bruno, sit down.
You turn back
As soon as
around.
you turned around, Vono was sprinting. Vono,
There's a
high knees.
minotaur-shaped hole in the wall where he just.
No, I turn around. Vatharian turns around, sees is starting to ask for Vuno's help. You see Vuno in a full creep kind of stance where he's tiptoeing away, like that exactly. And then Vuno, and then he just takes off in a full sprint.
Excellent. Well,
So Vatharian sits there and ponders for a moment as to Jules' question, and he goes, "If I'm to expect you to watch my back, I guess that I should provide you a way to do so, since you lack the ways to do it yourself."
I assure you, I can handle myself. This is just whatever makes you do what I want you to do.
Interrupts you with a just a very judgmental.
I already agreed to help. Stop.
Yeah. Your eyes, they scathe me.
Listen, I will give you the ammunition if you go away.
Of course. Just
All right,
give me what I
if
want.
I could. Well, come see me in an hour, and I'll have it done for you.
Fine. And Jules walks away.
I'll have it done in 30 minutes.
30 minutes to cope with what's just happened to you, and then the other 30 minutes to complete the task.
Just this poor little Boy Scout in a corner, just like, oh my god.
You just hear ting, ting.
Man, they said they really made these Dragonborn really strong and indestructible, but emotionally they could just tear them down quick and easy.
Jules goes to laugh and is like, man, I think he needs therapy.
You need the therapy, honestly.
I am the therapy. I don't know why why are you also attacking me, Lab?
We don't know that.
Oh
When are
my.
any of us not attacking you?
I wish more of you were. And, and
Yeah.
Jules walks away sad.
More at the same
Exactly
time.
why.
All right. So how much? So what kind of ammunition are you using?
I have a rifle. That's what I'll need.
Bullets.
A riffle.
7.76 millimeter.
7.62 millimeter
type
full
of
metal jacket.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
I need a hollow shell. I need something that explodes on contact with the body.
Oh, okay. So incendiary rounds. Got it.
The best I can do is
No, they're
flechettes.
illegal.
I also made you this silencer. No, I'm kidding.
Look, yeah, artificer. You
Ooh,
put some points on
kinky.
artificer. Go. No.
Well,
I made you
wait,
this
is that-
silencer.
I
Duct
didn't
tapes
know
their
you
mouth.
were into breastplay.
how much is how much would be a silencer? Because I feel like a silencer
That might
might
actually
burst
be a
less-
good thing.
That might be a good idea.
More than
So
100
D&D
gold.
version.
Yeah,
More than
something
100
more than-
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, for the enchantment cost alone, yeah.
Put a pillow at the end of it.
Yeah, put a pillow.
It's not going to be perfect, but
It's
I
not gonna
just-
be
Yeah,
it
perfect.
does
And that
work.
ability, that's something that you might want to wait until the adventure starts to figure out something
Yeah.
useful for it.
Yeah.
You come back in an hour, and I just hand you Volo's pillow. Here you go.
Ooh, how exciting!
Really messes with
Don't
your
forget to
sight
bite
line.
it. Don't forget to bite it
Oh
when
my
you go
god.
Jules winks.
in. I guess it should be. Don't forget to tell them to bite it when you shoot.
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right.
Well, while
Well, so that's-
all of you are doing this up near the main floor of this bullshit table by the front door, you have Arbisher like looking over maps, planning our route, doing last minute like bullshit, listening to you guys and just like my children, fuck, god damn it, I don't want to deal with all of you right now. Just I hear everything and it's just like okay. All right. That's just so if anybody walks by, you see the tiny Durganborn. And like he's on a stool, of course, because no table is built for his size. He's like, tracing maps and shit. That's it. That's all I got.
The troops will come by with like an end table and saw the legs off for you.
We have a good assortment of set chair heights because like the
Yeah.
Dragonborn don't have like littler chairs.
That's that was the first that was the first troop type the squad got was a carpenter. And specialized in furniture. Just
If Arbisher is standing in a big central location, I think while Vutno is preparing some of the last minute supplies, he'll probably walk by. And so he'll seeing that you're making maps and approaches, he'll kind of come over and say, "Is there anything that you require of the squad before we depart?"
There we go.
I just need everyone to stop giving each other a hard time. We've got a little bit of a road ahead of us. We've got time for bickering.
We'll kind of won't say anything to that. He'll say, "Have you thought of how we will be approaching this mission?"
Well, yeah, I've given it a little bit of thought. These are many points. Is like this is the route that they said we should take. This seems a very direct route, follows our normal trade routes to that front outpost, and then gets a little hairy getting to the event site. So I feel like what's going to happen is we're going to take this as far as we feel comfortable. Probably not all the way. And then we'll take a little sidetrack, see if we can't find our own way there so as to not be very easily marked. That's the plan anyway.
Involves walking through the woods.
Well, luckily we've got you. You're kind of familiar with that side of town, aren't you?
Not really. I mean, like, yes, but not.
I trust you.
Sure.
Jules is gonna come over and just like study the maps intently, but he's not gonna say anything.
No, I sense you disapprove. I'm happy to hear you out. Anything you got to say?
Just understanding the parameters. I know that we are meant to find this weapon, destroy it, disable it, find its manufacturer, inspection, things like that. All things that will cause bit violence, mostly. But
Most likely.
in order to find it, are we saying that we are coming in quietly? Is that the approach?
I think that would be smart to come in a little quietly, not announce our presence, Maybe we can find out more and not maybe. I mean, the ideal goal, the secret side of command would probably prefer that we bring back whatever this is intact so that the good doctor can study it. Maybe even find a countermeasure for it.
At the mention of the doctor, lightning cracks outside, and you just hear maniacal cackling from the basement.
What a fun lad. I enjoy his company immensely.
So, we could go in all guns blazing, but, if they have the plans, they might even sabotage their own gear.
do we even
keep
know if
us
there's
from
an
getting our hands on
active
it.
threat there outside of it, the area?
We only know what the reports say. They say that our troops are getting decimated by something. Now, whether that's an enemy force, a unit, a whole goddamn military, or just something that, you know, makes us a little less able to fight. Won't know till we get there.
Seems pretty easy, just in and out, right?
It always starts easy. It just gets more complicated the longer we're there.
It's nothing I haven't handled before, so it doesn't
There's
seem
not
too
much
hard.
you haven't handled before, is there, Julie?
Oh, you know me so well.
Shown
You
professional.
really don't need to like lean into the joke.
Disgusting,
He'll figure them
even.
out himself.
You guys are just kink shamers. It's the whole religion thing. It's so boring and
You're telling
overdone.
dirty jokes is your kink. Maybe you should stop exposing us to it.
Don't kink shame me.
Anyways, all of you, let's get ready. Grab the rest of your gear, get it in the cart. We're gonna roll out in about the next 30.
Okay.
Datharian makes his way over to the table and just holds his hand out towards Jules and doesn't say anything. He just kind of
Jules
eyes
doesn't
her.
either. Just puts his hand out.
He just turns his hand to the side and just empties out each bullet slowly and then walks away.
Hey, we're leaving in 10. I need you to get ready, all right?
He just puts his hand up as he's walking away in like an acknowledgement, but just nothing.
So Day, does your ability makes 10 bullets, right?
I don't know if it specified.
Yes.
It did. I think it said. I believe
It
it
did.
says 10
It
pieces
says
of
10 pieces.
ammunition.
Yeah, 10
Okay.
pieces. 10 pieces of
So
ammunition.
Jules is gonna split it 5 and 5 and hand the other half to Lath.
So is it does it make them magical or does it just conjure you ammunition? Ammunition. Jeebs.
That crafts a non-magical item
Yeah.
that must include some metal.
So you created 10
Bullets.
10 bullets, yeah.
And I give here you go, Lath. You don't need to
Well,
be
this
just as
Normal
prepared as
bullets.
I am.
Does Lath use
I
rifle
do.
bullets?
Lath has a
Yes,
gun. Yeah.
Are they normal
Hmm.
bullets though? Because my gun.
Yes, they do be normal
Okay.
bullets.
Okay. That's good. I only
Just
have
making sure.
20.
I was like, are they
20
really going to be useful?
Yeah.
Yes, I do use.
Lath looks at Jules looks at Lath and goes, "Please don't get yourself hurt. It would be very unfortunate.
I have
Too
no
pretty of a
plans
pace
to.
to lose."
I don't scar very easily, at least.
Oh, good to know.
Who
And
knows
Lath
the
walks
type?
away.
Who knows the type to wait in the family van 20 to 30 minutes before the road trip begins? So he is tending to the horses and just waiting by the cart. He's
Is
already
that
ready.
just out of curiosity? Is that because he struggles to get into position? He doesn't want anybody to watch.
He is definitely size challenged with carts, so he definitely wants to make sure that he has the space suitably arranged for himself. Yes.
You have just a cart for your mall itself. That's a whole pack animal in itself. Is you and the weapon.
There's a donkey that I feel bad for. It's extra carrots.
The donkey gets fed the finest steroids the military can provide.
Right.
Oh shit.
As you depart from home, taking the cleared forestry path down to the site of the last attack, you are brought to an odd site for the military campaign. So you've got a series of a field before you of white tents in a open space clearing, most of which are pristinely clean. All of the equipment is brand new, all of the armor being set out on racks. You've got troops running about cleaning their armor details. Right next to this pristine military encampment in clean rows and lines with an established border that is currently being reinforced and fortified. Small gates, temporary walls are going up. The forest nearby providing lumber and weapons and guards rolling about the place. Right next to that, there is a almost near identical setup that has been burned, destroyed, and completely barreled through. Both camps previously had consisted of about 60 troops each. There for the previous one, there were 3 survivors from the previous one. They're all in an intensive care in the new camp. They're currently under watch from major injuries. The destroyed encampment itself, along the eastern fortified wall, there is a massive hole blown in the wooden fortification. Through there, you can easily spot the swath of destruction that rolled through this. The ground itself is blackened and stained, the plant life decayed and rotting. The life force basically just sucked through in a straight path all the way to the center of the camp, and from there it appears to have stretched out. You can see littered throughout, like dragged. Most of the bodies have been cleared at this point. This attack happened about 3 days ago. Most of the bodies have been cleared out, but you can see entire tents that were burned to smolders. Entire sections of where troops would have been are in negative imprint of, like, you've got like body shapes burned into the ground. Throughout that camp, you can roll through and do investigations if you would like to investigate further into different aspects. The command tent is a place of interest, as the tent itself wasn't touched. All of the command tents for these things are placed on temporary platforms, just kind of raised up off the ground so that it's easily spottable and that they can get a view over the fortifications to the surrounding woodlands. The person that escorts you through it, that is assigned to you and comes to your wagons to lead you through, is a copper-skinned dragonborn woman, currently wearing a fresh set of gleaming chain. She has a cape emblazoned with the blue and silver gilded edges of Ith, marking her rank as captain. And this is one Captain Copperborn.
Creative.
I got an 18 on my investigation.
Excellent. Abishur, you would know that the commander's first name would be Adeline.
Perfect.
She is in charge of 3 units in this area. Two out of her 3 units are currently here. The first one that was just decimated, and her personal unit that she travels with is the second one that has come to aid here. Their 3rd unit is positioned a little bit further south, about a half day's ride.
DM, do you want us to specify what we're looking at with our investigation roll, or just roll a general one?
You give me where you guys want to look. I've got more descriptors for the surrounding areas. So you've got major places of interest would be the direction that it came through, so east into the woods. A couple of troops are stationed at the entrance to the destroyed camp, and they have a trail off into the woods a little bit. The command tent, as well as the whole of the camp itself, if you want to try and track the destruction and map out where all of that is, or anywhere else that any of you want to go specifically, you can tell me. But for a general investigation, if you just want to look over the camp as you approach, we can do a general investigation check.
I want to see where it came from.
Okay.
That's what and that was an 18 for that.
So that would be east into the woods. That's that.
Yes, I am going
I will
east.
check
Yes.
the hole then.
Okay.
Right.
then I will. We'll have a little talk with the commander here, while my team goes and does their thing.
Yeah. So you guys know that the only person that is going to outrank any of you would be Captain Copperborn themselves. Most of the people are going to be quite cooperative, although for two of you, people are going to give you a wide berth, and you both know who you are, and you know the reason why.
Is it me?
No, it's not you. Surprisingly enough, you get lots of admiration. You got a couple of people who are definitely like scared because you are a myth made manifest, right? You
I'm a
are
Super Saiyan, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
We are not Dragonborn.
Lath would have you get a reputation. They might not be able to be like they know exactly who you are, but D Squad is known for what you are. That is like a known fact. That's the kind of shit that hits the rumor mill and stays there forever and circulates.
Or Abishur at all times. I do not trust Day.
Literally 4 of you are like urban legend level stuff throughout military talk.
I will say this: my investigation for this
It's not Vono.
in the fortification was a 14.
Okay.
What
Jules,
was...
you said you got an 18, right?
Yeah, I got an 18.
Okay.
And what was Commander Copperborn's first name? Because
Adeline. Lath, where did you want to head? Just so I have a track of where everybody's going.
Taking a look at the commander's tents, mostly they're the only things on stilts, essentially.
Okay.
And it's not good. It's an 8.
That's okay. We're gonna go over there.
No, I'm sorry. It's a 7. I don't have a +1 to it.
Excellent.
Question: is this considered anything to do with undead? Because I get advantage if it is.
God, what a meta question to have to try and answer. Is walking into a place.
Ranger, fuck you.
Undead has been here. Is that your favored enemy unit? Is undead?
Yep, undead.
Okay. That will account. I will give you a bonus, but it's not advantage because it's not.
Okay, so I got 18. So what would the bonus be?
I'm gonna give you a +2 bonus on it.
Okay, so
because
just dirty 20.
There's scenes related to it, but there is no like direct sign that it was an undead that caused it. But there's some telltale signs that you're able to pick out that you're like, this could be, right? You're not specifically sure what caused the thing.
I will tell you, in the future, my other favorite enemy is going to be Celestials. We got to keep it balanced, baby.
It's the military. So what's your other thing you're good at killing? You? Put that in your performance review.
Fucking on parole. Performance review my ass.
7 out of 7. It's a good ass. Why is it out of 7? That's a different story.
That's Dracovia's ass.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, Commander Copperborn, for greeting us so graciously. I understand it's a hard time.
Of course. It's great to have a unit come and help me investigate the hell happened to all of my fucking troops.
Well, we're gonna find that out. You know me. We've met once or twice.
You have your reputation. Have you gotten taller since the last time we met?
I don't
makes his way towards Abishur.
I don't think so. I mean, the antlers might have. There might be another inch there somewhere, but
you've definitely. She just kind of like looks around your squad. I got to say, your reputation is. These squads is questionable. It's interesting to see the troops they've replaced since the unfortunate incident a couple of months ago.
I'm sensing a little hesitance there, Commander. I mean, if you don't want our help, we can always just go.
I will always take the assistance in figuring out how to save the lives of more troops. I am just...
And we'll do our best to, make that happen for you. This is a tragedy. We're gonna fix it one way or the other.
I have an outside view on things. things.
This is,
You just hear the loud steps of Datharian walking up behind Avishar. He just stops behind.
Eversher doesn't even move. Doesn't even There's
She,
nothing on his face. It's like, oh yeah, there's a big fucker behind me.
The captain gives Datharian like a reverent bow, like a religious figure is just like approached, and she's just like it's like a formal like bow. She's like, and then she immediately like goes back to talking to she goes immediately back to talking to Avishar. She's like, yes, I'm the three in critical condition are. I don't know how much good they'll be. She kind of like she turns, she snaps her fingers, and a human trooper kind of runs over and brings you 3 decimated sets of armor. And she's like, "This is what we peeled off of Who Remains."
Okay.
You can see that they are. 2 of them have the entire chest cavity of like an adult male human. So, 5'10" to
Question.
There's a dinner plate missing out the center of this.
Wow.
It is caved inward, and the metal broke. And it went through, and the back piece is the same. So the front and back, there's something gored through the middle, bent the armor inward as well.
Any evidence of like gunpowder or any other explosive? Gunpowder residue?
No gunpowder residue throughout.
No GSR, got it.
Yeah.
What was the name of the captain?
Captain
Copperborn.
Copperborn.
I gotta write that down. So Datharian just kind of looks towards Captain Copperborn, and did I hear you correctly in saying that you had a couple wounded?
We've had 3 survivors, and they are in critical condition. They are in the medical tent.
Okay. If you'll have somebody lead me there, I might be able to assist.
She raises a hand, and you see 2 priests dressed in red and white robes with a blue streak going down the center approach, both of which are half elven.
Okay. Question.
They kind of
Are
come
they? Do they seem to be dying? Do they need to be? Or could they be stabilized using medicine?
When you go to the medical tent, they will inform you about what is going on currently with them.
Okay.
Finish up with the commander. She's like, "Do you have any questions for me?" My reports that I got were one of the troops before when we arrived was still moderately lucid, but their testimony is not very helpful.
Well, why don't you tell me about it, and we'll go from there.
She reaches into her cloak, and she pulls out like a folded letter, and she like unfolds it. She's like, "The scout that took his testimony and was thankfully bright enough to write it down. They mentioned a rolling fog bank of dark shadow that crept through the area a few hours before the event occurred, and they just assumed it was byproduct of necromantic bullshit going on with the Blood Forest. They have not been, there's been some spooky events, and the troops, they get superstitious, but it seems to have some credibility. There is some strange residue on the outer walls of the encampment, but I've got some of my troops collecting samples. They then they could not tell me what occurred. They just mentioned a discharge of energy rolling through the camp.
Not an explosion, although it does seem to look like that.
It is odd. It's left strange scorch marks, but scorch marks nonetheless. Something blasted through the area. definitely energy discharge.
Well, I think we have a pretty good place to start. I do have a question though.
Of course.
Who was occupying that command tent on the night that this happened?
That would
Are
have
they
been
still with us?
no. My squadron lieutenant. Their body is missing,
I see.
and I do say body because the command tent's interior is generously painted.
I see.
Which laugh you find as you like get to the command tent, peel back the thing. It
Really
looks
peel
like
back, just-
it looks
boy.
like they it looks like somebody was just completely like it looks like a sprinkler of blood went off in here, like a fountain. There is bits of what is supposed to be the lieutenant, a little bit on that wall, and a little bit on the ceiling, and a little bit on that wall, all over the floor.
Fishy bits.
But there is no like fleshy bits. It's all
Oh, just
just the
blood.
blood. It's all just blood. There is no bits of flesh matter, no bone. It is just a spray of blood.
He is a squirter. Sorry.
God damn.
Hot damn. He was a squirter.
Hot damn
God
indeed.
damn.
the guard at the door is unsettled.
How's Left
Okay.
walking in there, out of curiosity?
Yeah. How's
Well,
Leth doing?
Oh, I'm fine as long as I'm not. I can spell it. I'll tell you that.
Any desire to lick the wall?
No, it is not. It's not dried. It's not.
Leth is the window licker
Unappetizing.
vampire.
Laugh
Incredibly
probably ate
unappetizing.
this morning. Would be a safe bet that you are kept well fed.
Yes.
All right. So
Constitution roll.
last thing with our dear commander here.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we have our start at least. So we'll go ahead and let you get back to what you need to do, Commander. And
I've
we'll
got to set up better fortification and watches.
we will
Nice.
be in touch.
Of
And
course.
then Arbisher like raises one of his hand, and you see him like he does this, and he twists, and his claw off of that finger pops off. There's no blood, no anything like that. And this is my Hexblood Eerie Token effect.
That is
Oh god.
significantly eerie.
So, as a bonus action, harmlessly remove a lock of your hair, one of your nails, or one of your teeth. Token is imbued with magic until you finish a long rest. I can use it to send message as long as we're within 10 miles, 25 word limit. I can also enter a trance within 10 miles of it and see and hear as though I'm there. Yeah. Can only do
Temporary
one.
familiar.
Yeah, basically. And I like hold my other hand out with it, just to keep a hold of this, and when we find something important, we'll let you know.
She reaches out 2 claws and just kind of takes it between 2 of her claws and just kind of picks it up like, I will hold on to this, yes.
Thank you kindly.
Thoroughly unsettled, like
magical,
so uncomfortable with what just happened. Just-
Yeah, we're living up to the reputation today.
yeah.
Like trying to hide it at this point.
This person was a squirter. Here, let me just rip my nails off and give them to you.
I mean, it could have been a tooth. That would have been even more fun.
It's mid-conversation, just like, yeah, I don't know what you're going on
Significantly
here.
Less weird than like giving them a fingernail clipping. Like it'd be
Oh, it's
weirder
not a
so-
clipping.
Yeah, it's like
It's-
the whole
It's like
nail.
I
I
ripped
think
the
it'd still
whole
be
nail
weirder
bed
to
off.
get a fingernail than a claw.
It's fine.
I mean, it's
Disgusting.
dragon
Alright.
horn, so it's kind of equivalent.
And
Before
we'll-
I head off
Send her
to
away and let
yeah.
my guys investigate.
before I head off to the east, I want to talk to Vono real quick.
Yeah, Vono, you and Vono go over to the hole together. You want to
yeah.
go further. Vono's looking at the hole.
Jules points to Vona's chest and goes, "Listen, you have to pretend like these people are worth grieving for. I know how you are. This is a team that was lost. If you want to get good information, you have to pretend like you're mourning as well."
Volno is walking, not looking down to acknowledge the fact that he does kind of, his brow furrows, and he will say out loud, "Well, everybody in their team is dead. There's the three that Ethereum is healing."
You get flicked intensely by Jules on the side. Listen, you have to pretend.
How about the modeled example then? Now he'll look down at you.
You see Jules, like, very, like, oh, bless your heart kind of energy about him, goes up to one of the nearest Dragonborn guards and puts his hand on his shoulder. Are you... What can you tell me about what happened? It's absolutely terrible.
As you approach it, like, touch the guard, he just kind of, like,
Yeah.
immediately just, like...
Jules immediately clocks it, puts his hand back down.
Yeah, immediately, like, rotates his shoulder, like, slides your hand off, and just kind of, like... takes his spear, pushes it against you, just kind of steps you, like, a step away from him to get, like, personal space, like... Well, judging from what we can see, something big rolled through here.
I understand that. Did you know any of the people that got hurt? Or died?
No, this is not my unit. I didn't really know most of these people personally. I know the commander, though. He up and comer.
How is she taking this?
Our captain is, she's distraught. She cares about her troops and units, and she lost 12 Dragon Knights at this one. And that's going to affect her deeply.
Okay. Is there anything in specific I should look for or look at that you saw interesting?
When we got here, most of the corpses weren't corpse anymore. They were ash, dust, bone.
Interesting.
Something, but not the... I don't think this was like vampiric troops. This is something new. Maybe one of their abominations they're so fond of making. Maybe they let the new blood mage loose and he created something new. But as it stands, no signs of vampiric feeding post fight.
Jules kind of steps back a little further. No signs at all.
You gotta like, he kind of like steps to the side and like uses his spear. He like lifts up a tent, like it's like collapsed on the ground, like flips it over, and you can see a scorched skeleton like with some half put on armor that's just kind of like still on the ground. And he's like, "This is what most of the corpses look like now," and it's just no flesh. The bones themselves, the front half is scorched black, like something blasted it from the front, and it was vaporized front to back. The back of the bones are like cracked and brittle, and the front half is like scorched black and decayed.
Jules is gonna look back at Vono with deep concern on his face. Thank you for this information. I'm gonna head a little farther east, but my friend here should be able to help you out a little bit more.
He just kind of like nods his head, and he like raises his spear, and you see two troops with longbows that are currently like head wrapped. They're elven of some variety. You can see their ears poking up through wraps, but they're currently like their faces are completely covered, and they just kind of like stalk over with you. He's like, "I'm going to send a couple of scouts with you just to help keep an eye out and have some fleet of foot if things go south, if you find anything."
Thank you. I appreciate your help. And make sure you take care of your commander. It seems like she is taking this very hard.
It's a grim day. This is not the first squad that's been hit like this.
Thank you. And Jules is gonna walk off and kind of look at Vono like, be a good person, please.
As you go away, he wraps his spear across his chest twice. He's like, "May its light guide."
May its light guide. And yeah, Jules is gonna walk over to the little forest that he wanted to search through.
Cool. The Dragonborn kind of looks at Vono, then just kind of like looks up at him.
You said that this body is indicative of the others.
Yes, we've had our priests rolling through and checking bodies. Most of them are in this state or worse. Some are a little better off, but most of them are pretty fleshless.
Bruno will kneel down and, looking at this corpse, what he's looking for is any signs that he has a theory, a working theory based off of the plant life that you described. But the fact that this is charred in such a way, what he is looking for in these bones, if this is a fire-based charring, if this is a scorching, if this is heat, or if those properties exist here.
Yeah. So looking it over, so you see that the looking over the body, whatever hit this was localized. Like the tent itself isn't scorched. There's a singular blackened hole in it, and like in the tent, like if you unfurl the whole tent that this body's in, there's a singular blackened hole, probably inch or two across. And then the body looks like it like was in like a localized blast. Looking it over, like it doesn't read like fire. Like this flesh wasn't burned away, not with like heat or fire.
Was it rapidly aged? Was it necrosis-sized almost?
It shows signs of necrosis. Yes, lots of. There's definitely some sort of necrotic energy, but it looks like someone took like necrotic energy and increased its effectiveness with like of how fast it does whatever it does.
Mm-hmm. Right. So keeping that into mind, Vono will make his way over to that hole in the fortification.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I rolled a 14 for this investigation previously.
Yeah, going through like the debris from the wall, you can find deep gouges in the wood of jagged marks that look like something heavy and metallic slammed into the wood. And then you can see...
With a 14, am I able to determine if this is a single hit or repeated?
Looking at the way things have splintered, it is... your best guess with a 14, it was probably a singular large hit. And you can see, like, from where the splintered from the holes in the wall, the wood itself also shows sign of, like, lots of necrotic damage on top of something big, heavy, and weighted slammed into it at the same time.
Vono, I don't know, with a 14, maybe this would fall more in like a history check or another lore check. But would this replicate potentially what a siege weapon might do to a fortification?
Not any siege weapon you've seen. Most...
But a large metal object thrown at rapid speed at the wall might make a similar...
Yeah, it might. It looks like what you would expect to see if somebody charged through a wall. Like a person, like it had a break point that had enough force behind it. It dragged extra.
Probably the important thing is that it is not the effect of the necrosis that broke the wall. Something large and metal burst through.
Yeah, a combination is a...
once it entered the camp, then the necrosis magic kicked in, it seems.
Yeah, there was definitely at least a little bit when it hit necrosis that weakened some of the wood as well, but the necrosis really starts to affect once it's through the wall.
All right. With that information, I'm going to look over to where Lath is going to the forest and let him, or Jules rather, and let Jules work on his own there. And I will return to what I have to Captain Arbiter.
Checking in with Lath at the tent. What are you digging through?
Loth is going to start looking around for any signs of that necrosis throughout the tent, if there's any at all in here, if it is simply just the blood paint. As well as possible murder weapon, any things left behind that looked involved.
Yeah, so going through the room, and tossing it, you don't see. This is like an unrealistic amount of blood is like saturated. It looks like somebody was turned into mist in this room and just like all of the blood was left, but you're missing all of the solids from a person. So determining like a weapon, there is no corpse. There's no body, there's no corpse, there's no destruction. Most of the room looks undisturbed outside of just this whirlwind of blood. You can see like papers are primarily undisturbed. It looks like someone was standing at the desk when they became a fine mist.
Sort of like an origin point at the desk. Is there anything on the desk?
There's a bunch of papers currently drenched in a good misting of blood. There's maps, schematic books, and some other things. Give me another investigation check. Another 7?
Yep.
Excellent. You see, like, going over the table, it takes you like a couple of glances and kind of like wandering around, and there's some guards following you around in there. But as you kind of like do a couple of laps in the room and you like start like moving stuff on the table, you notice an imprint in the blood. Like there is a squared corner where something has been taken after the blood spatter happened. Seems like would be like a small leather-bound journal would be like small personal.
Guards there. Did anyone ever take anything out of this room after this?
No, sir. No one. No one outside the captain's been in the tent. She entered to check and see if anyone was in here, and then she posted us out front. It's been us and then the night crew that's been watching for the last couple of days. Just 4 guys.
To Arbiter as well for now to relay this, but you took one thing in the entire room. It's obviously important. Sure.
Okay. You're going back to report. Then we've got one more trooper still. We got 2 troopers out. So let's check back in with Datharian going to the medical tent. So as the 2 priests lead you into the medical tent, you've got a handful of people that are like nursing like minor injuries, and then you're sitting at the back. You see 2 priests, and you're seeing a couple of like flashes of light over these people. On the back, you've got 3 troops. One of them is missing most of the lower portion of their abdomen. You can see their lower ribs from this blackened hole that the organs and tissue around it has these veins of black and green kind of creeping across what remains, but they're missing like a sizable hole out of their side that you can just kind of like see is through. They're currently unconscious, but you currently see like a priest is currently like hovering over them, and there's like a faint white glow around them as they're currently just like pumping them with magic to try and watch it. And you watch as like the veins kind of like creep back across the body as they cast some sort of regenerative magic. And as soon as like they stop, you watch the veins kind of creep away and kind of the wound begin to seal. And then like a second later, you watch it like pulse, and you watch the vein shoot across the body further.
Interesting.
The whole thing smells putrid.
Okay.
And you can see them like with like iodine and alcohol, and they're currently like trying to clean this person's wound, and it is doing nothing. Just the wound itself is just festering and eating at this person. The other two are not
nasty.
any better off. One person is missing 2 limbs, and the remaining 2 limbs are blackened, and you can see these same veins kind of creeping up the body, going from like up the limbs. And you can see that one of the limbs that they're missing has been surgically removed. You can see the tourniquet at the base of it, but the wound itself is sprouting the same kind of festery black and green, like under the tourniquet.
Okay. So D'Etherin is going to approach the priests and these soldiers who are inflicted with this. Well, I guess I'm just going to say infliction because I don't know what it is yet. Can I roll medicine to try to figure out what it is? Investigation.
Yeah, you can roll investigation. You can try medicine.
Medicine.
Whichever's higher, investigation or medicine, whichever's higher.
It's definitely medicine.
Okay, yeah, you can roll medicine.
Well,
25. All right. Looking this over, that's clearly not a normal infection of any variety. Like what's happening to their bodies is magical in nature, to the point that it is actively resisting magical intervention. So not only are the wounds like infected and killing these people, they're also like cursed, would be the best way to describe it. You can see like the casting of healing magic is stopping it for a second, and then the second they stop receiving healing, it immediately starts to fester and spread again. And so they kind of like, as they lead you over and they're talking to you, they're like, as you can see, all attempts at healing and recovering these wounds is, well, absolutely useless. We've been trying for days, rotating our clerics in and out, and there is nothing within our power seems to break whatever this is. And they just kind of turn, they're like, we have one who's better off than these two, and she's just kind of like looks at them and she's like, this really, we're going to put both of these two down before the end of the day, to just kind of, one of them has regained consciousness, and it was just screaming. There is we don't currently have the ability to save them.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your report here. D'Etherin is going to slowly make his way over to the third one that is awake.
Yeah. So
are they just screaming bloody murder?
No, the third one is awake and laying in bed. You can see that they are not afflicted with whatever this like necrosis that's eating through these people is. They do currently have some strange lacerations all across the body. You're seeing like these like large open wounds that are just kind of like going vertically across the body. Like someone like it looks like someone took like a seam ripper on like a piece of clothing and just started going up the seams, but it's like on a person. So like where their joints connect are split open with these like large open wounds that are currently being used with like magic and like mundane healing to try and like reseal. So they've got like these massive stitches that are like almost putting this person back together, and they're currently just laying there bandaged, and you can see it like it's on each of the joints of the fingers, the wrists, the like the elbow, the shoulders. You can see it stitched all along the neck. The seams of the eyes have been like re-sewn across this person's face, and they're just kind of like laying there, just like not moving. And you see two priests are like on either side, and they're just like regenerating, and you're watching the wounds close, but like not quickly. You've seen healing magic, and that stuff like starts sealing wounds like super quick. Like once it goes, like it doesn't make it permanently go away. Oftentimes there's some scarring with major wounds, but these are like you're watching them like inch closer and closer with each casting. They're just like slowly cinching together. So this person was basically taken apart at every joint in their body, and they're currently, by multiple people's efforts, being stitched back together.
Well, that's horrifying. Tell me, what is your name?
They
talking to the third one.
They like slowly open their mouth just a little bit, and they're just like, a little bit of like blood dribbles out the side of their mouth. I am Darius.
Darius. Well,
I'm squad sergeant for the 49th Division. My current acting position is now head of what remains of my unit. My commander and their commander and the commander above them were vaporized instantaneously, thus granting me a battlefield promotion, although I don't know that I will be returning to active duty anytime soon.
Well, Darius, I'm saddened to see your troop decimated this way. Is there anything that you could tell me that could help enlighten us as to what might have happened?
It was some sort of creature.
And what nature?
I cannot tell you. I was on the outer wall when it struck. Whatever it was, it moved impossibly fast through the darkness. It slammed into the wall. As I fell from my perch, I landed on the opposite side of the wall. I believe that is what spared me from the creature's affliction inside of the walls. I was either out of its range or it just did not see me. However, what did see me was, I can only assume, its handler or its creator. I began to stir after being down for a little bit. And when I got up, I heard a raspy voice say that it had something new it wanted to try. And then I'll admit I blacked out from the pain that ensued. I watched my flesh on my hands begin to dissolve away. And the blood was the next thing I saw. And then it is waking up, being fussed over by about 12 clerics.
They can be quite handsy, can't they? Yeah, he just a little bit attempting to lighten the mood a little bit for the soldier.
He chuckles, and then you just see him immediately wince, and you see both of the fucking clerics on top, like healing him, just kind of turn at you, and you can see like through like the like shirt he's wearing, you can see like lines of like blood trails come through, and then they both like move over to like move their healing, and they begin casting it like on his torso, and they're like, "Please refrain from laughing. Your lungs will fill with blood."
My apologies. That meant no offense.
He just kind of like gets out the raspy chuckle, and he's just kind of like, he kind of like looks up at you, and he's like, "Whatever it was quadruped."
Was it?
It produced a lot of light. For moving through the darkness as well as it did, when it got inside the camp, it produced a lot of light. Which is not something I'm used to seeing from our enemy.
A lot of light, you say? Quadrupedal. Can I roll? You said it's producing light?
Yes. Not like the warm healing light of like divine casting. It is a shadowy dark thing, but it gave off light whatever it was doing.
I see. Is there any other form of description that you could provide me that might give this quadruped shape? Or is this all that you've seen?
It was vaguely horse-like, and it was massive. The best things I can tell you. It stood taller than you. It stood taller than our walls. It was.
I see. Now, was it? You said it moved quick in the shade.
Yes.
Is there? Can I roll Arcana in an attempt to figure out what this is?
Sure. Judging from like the size of the hole in the wall, and you're like horses, could be a lot of things. It could be a nightmare that maybe they armored. But typically those produce fire. And while things are scorched, nothing has been indicative of flames. Maybe it's some sort of yoked centaur mage, or it could be some sort of like, yeah, I mean, it would be quadrupedal if it's a centaur, it's a horse.
Yeah, I'm thinking
he saw the back end of it. It could be a lot of things. The Malkavians are also known for grafting things together and making abominations.
I'm willing to bet it's one of them.
So I mean, it could be something like it could be a couple of things that occur naturally.
Okay. So Datharian is just gonna keep that in mind. Let's see.
But yeah, it could also just be something that they made, and
yeah, Datharian's gonna keep that in mind, and he's gonna note that down because it could be something that is just unnatural and complete and utter nature that has just been created and crafted for destruction. So he's gonna keep that in mind to let Abishur know. Now, is there anything that Datharian could do to help this soldier in return for their information?
Can you cast regeneration?
Let me look.
Pretty
What
sure
level
that's
spell is that?
fifth level.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that I can cast regeneration.
Then,
That's too high.
outside of like throwing a couple of healing spells on him, not much. Right, the clerics here are average about second and third level, so they've got some
They're about
healing.
mid.
Yeah, they've got some healing. It's like, right, where can we get you trained up to and military wise, like disperse? So you're like clerics of like first, second, and maybe like a third level cleric. You don't really ever push beyond that in like your standard rank and files. So it's like they're like, we're doing what we can, but we need bigger power, and that would mean shipping them somewhere with like important motherfuckers.
Important motherfucker. More important than you.
Yeah, more important than the hey, I'm a doctor for a division somewhere.
Okay.
Or getting like an angel to come and like do some healing, but like requisitioning an angel for a single trooper who is, you know, below officer rank is not likely to occur. Especially not a human one.
Let me see. So what if I is this affliction, is it magical in nature?
It is. His body's basically just been like shredded. So it's something that it's like his hit points are fine, but it's like it's a mending thing. It's gonna take him like rest and time to restitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the other two? Is that their affliction magical in nature?
Their affliction is magical in nature.
What if I would? I guess you can't tell me. That's pretty meta. I was gonna say dispel magic.
Dispel magic would not work. Neither would remove curse. They tried that.
Motherfucker.
Just in case, they did try that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything that I could really do for these guys right now, just because you literally.
There is a question you're missing that two of us can fix that you can't. Is it a magical disease?
Wouldn't that be the same as questioning if it was magical in nature?
Disease, curse, spell, all of those are different.
By the rules of 5th edition, those are all different things. It might be a magical disease. You could try. But you're not
keep that in
entirely
mind.
sure.
Yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind, and I'll have to propose that to the group and see if there's anything. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. So Datharian is going to thank the. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your willingness to divulge any information that you might have had. But for now, unfortunately, I don't believe that there's anything that I can do to improve your situation here, other than I think I have one healing spell that's not like third level.
Look, it's fine. I'm in solid hands. They are not bribing me to say that. Although one of them offered me an extra pudding cup, so there's that. But that's about all I can really eat right now. The my insides kind of match my outsides, apparently.
Hopefully that'll change here shortly.
But
looks like you're in capable hands. Datharian looks between the two priests that are there. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they've helped you come this far. So.
Just is it true what they say about you?
He kind of like gives a questionable look.
Your kind, the righteous hand of the goddess, our personal honor guards.
I would say more the gifted. It's more of a gift that Ith is bestowed upon us. We're just loyal servants of the goddess Ith.
My only request is that you put some of that divine weight into finding whatever this is and fucking it up for me.
Well, I can tell you this, that I will be trying my best.
Because those
Now
bloodsuckers don't need something that can cause this kind of damage.
This is true. I think that it would be pretty it's pretty detrimental that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, and that we should take care of it immediately. So with that being said, I must regroup with the rest of my squad here and make sure that they are as well informed as you've given me in information.
Best of luck.
To you as well, and may If be with you.
May her light shine.
May her light shine. He said, just placing his hand on like a less wounded part of his body. Just
You're
to
like,
not
where does the
hurt
human
him.
body not
Where does
connect
that-
as a joint? Gently pats on the arm.
Gently pats on the arm as he walks away. Well, before saying so, he says, "Thank you for your service," and then gives him the gentle pat of approval and walks away back to his group. Yeah,
You're supposed to inspire hope in them, not take it from
Been
them.
touched by a platinum dragonborn.
exactly. I've touched him.
I'm never washing this arm again.
His arm falls off.
Shit.
Jesus.
The priest, yeah, that's not gonna happen, buddy. You're getting a bath fucking regularly.
All right, now on to our little felon.
My little felon, my little
Okay,
felon.
I just have to clarify something that you said earlier. Did you say the 2 scouts with me were covered in bandages and they were 2 elves?
They are covered in loose clothing and scarves. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they're like head wrapped, like faces
like
obscured.
completely covered.
Mm-hmm. Islets.
Can
yeah.
I roll an insight check on them?
Sure.
Okay.
What are you
Also,
fishing
what
for?
time of day?
This would be like midday. You guys left early in the morning, so you arrived before lunch. It's probably like 10, 11
Insight +5, so that's gonna be a 21.
What are you fishing for the insight?
I'm Jules is finding it weird that these people are covering themselves entirely during the day when our opponent right now is vampires. So he just wants to kind of get a feel of if they are what they say they are.
Currently
He's not trying to yeah.
You would be able to you'd be able to distinguish that these are a unit of Overland Scout that the Gilded Veil has acquired. It is it's primarily for they use them as scouts primarily because they will blend completely, but these are on loan from Malagoth, the one of the other dragon lords. Essentially there is about there's roughly 12 of these scouts scattered throughout.
Okay.
And they are they're deep stalkers. They are kind of just like they go deep, and they maintain their anonymity for it.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Jules
but they are sketchy. They are sketchy and weird, but they're not.
Okay, Jules
they're
doesn't
not,
fucking trust them.
Yeah,
but...
they're not really. They're much like you in Lath, where it's like they're not technically part of the military, but they work for us. They're contracted.
Jules is gonna look at the 2 of them and be like, "Well, I assume you can handle yourselves, all right?"
They both just kind of like make a series of hand gestures at you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going east. I assume you're coming with me, so I'm just gonna start walking, and if at any point that starts being a problem, just stop me. And Jules is gonna walk into the woods. I'm trying to find specifically like footprints to get like a size or like a speed at which this thing was coming, just to get like stats on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can use my ranger skills too if necessary.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me survival to look for footprints.
Would this with advantage? Is it undead?
No, this is not with advantage.
Okay. 11.
All right. With an 11, you find one set of humanoid footprints. They are you would say, man, it's so weird to try and to describe footprints. They're not large footprints. You would guess, like, if we were going like real world shoe sizes, you're looking at like a men's 6.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Small
Like,
boy.
yeah. Like very small, like, yeah, small adult footprints. Those you can easily find a trail like going both in and out through this hole.
Interesting. Does this hole look like it has any of that incineration damage that we've been seeing anywhere else?
Yeah, there's a little bit of the strange necrosis like on some of the wood, but the whole thing was kind of smashed in, but you don't find anything footprints wise or track wise for anything that would have slammed into this.
I have a super weird question. Does any of this look like radiant damage?
No. None of it looks like radiant damage.
Even if I roll for it?
Yep. Even if you roll for it, it is not. It's not radiant.
Okay. Does it look like modified radiant damage? Something similar? Something that's able to withstand radiant damage in some way?
For that, you could roll me religion or arcana.
Let me see which one's better for me. Give me just a second.
Try and identify the damage type.
Oh, look. Arcana and radiant of religion are both 0, so woo. Oh my god, another fucking 6.
It's not any type of damage you've ever seen.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Like it's
not...
similar to necrotic, but it's definitely not the same because that twists and decays and ages, but it's not the same.
How would you describe this? Like, how shady is the woods I'm going into?
This becomes like dense forest quickly.
Okay.
This is the bloodwood, right?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Just checking. Hey, let me do what I am doing. You are doing something else entirely. Unless you're obsessed with me, and then you can come follow me whenever you want, Bono.
You watch those 2 scouts that are with you, by the way. One of them turns immediately. They waddle over like to a tree together. One puts a foot on the other one's hands, and they just throw them up into the tree, and a rope drops down, and the other one grabs the rope, and they just scamper up this tree. And then you just hear rustling as they venture into the treetops.
If this is a super shady wood, anytime I'm in shadow, I'm invisible to anything that uses dark vision as part of my umbral sight. So Jules is gonna walk.
There's plenty of shade in this dense wood.
Jules is gonna walk through, and again, vampires rely on dark vision, so I'm kind of hoping that's to my benefit.
Their vision's based on movement.
Exactly.
You scare a pack of deer.
Perfect. They don't even know I'm there.
They don't even know you're there, and it terrifies them.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find anything else, like because I can definitely tell something went in, something large went in, and obviously this is somebody. This is obviously like somebody that was with it. I'm trying to see if it was literally just these 2 or if there was more coming in.
Yeah. So you don't see any large tracks of any creature or anything else. Like the only sign is the testimonial of the survivor and the damage to the wall. There is no sign of like a large creature tracks. There is the largest tracks that you find like following these footprints is like you see like maybe signs that there's like a bear in the area. And that's like.
So I don't see any damage to the trees or anything. It's literally just to this wall. So he summoned this thing out of like nothing. Okay.
And
Interesting.
as
All right.
you, are you following the tracks that you find that kind
I
of go off into
am.
the woods? All right. Yeah, the
I'm
ground is
trying
wet
to.
enough, and from the heavy mist the night before and the rain from a few days ago, that it is definitely nice and moist under your feet. As you continue hiking your way through the woods, how far away are you going to get before you turn back? Are you just going to keep going until you find something, or are you
I
going
think
like a specific
about a
distance?
half mile is about as far as Jules is willing to get.
Okay. Within that distance, you do find a small clearing.
Jules does not enter it, if that's what you're about to ask me.
In the clearing, you find there is a pile of animal corpses. Specifically, there are about 3 deer and a dead bear. Their corpses just kind of piled and left rotting. Without entering the clearing, you can see that the moisture in these creatures is missing.
Interesting. Is there any like circle around it or anything to denote that this might be a magical thing, or does it feel like this is very much a vampire sucking the moisture out of animals?
Currently, so the clearing is only about about 5, 6 feet across. Like, it's not very big, so you kind of like circle it and see the whole pile. This A vampire would have to be real fucking thirsty to drink this much. Kind of circling it, you do see on the ground a series of glyphs that have been kind of washed away, that seem to have been traced in their blood, as well as a thoroughly fucked up circle. As you just kind of like circle the enclosure.
Can I do a perception check to see if anyone is around me outside of the 2 scouts that I know are following me?
Sure.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Wouldn't they just lose you immediately out of curiosity?
If they rely on dark vision, it is exclusively things that rely on dark vision.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Low light in the
So
forest.
that's gonna
or
be a
just
22.
effectively- Depends on if it's low light or darkness in the forest.
A 22. You don't notice any other presences.
Okay.
And
Not even the scouts?
That includes wildlife. You do not notice the scouts.
I don't notice any wildlife.
Yeah. Outside of these dead deer and the dead bear, there's no insect sounds nearby. You don't hear birds. You don't hear anything.
That's not a good noise.
Yeah. Jules is going to take out a notepad and quickly write down these glyphs and then head back post haste.
You're missing a lot of like whatever the glyphs would translate to. It's been days and dried blood on wet earth.
Yeah, it's very vague. Kinda, maybe someone can get something out of this. Jules isn't a magic man.
Sure. Right. So you venture back to camp, and all of you may brief your commanding officer on what you've found, theories and ideas.
Well, while everyone's doing their thing,
yeah,
Arbiter's gonna go to that I guess like blast radius, the center,
like the center of the camp,
the most fucked up bit, and do a little investigating of his own. Sure. Let's call it a perception. I want like a big wide view of the entire.
You have someone fetch you a step stool.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Or someone lift you up.
Rude.
He said he wanted a big wide view, and he's not gonna get that from his height.
Bruno, I need you to lift this man.
And that is an 18.
Yeah. getting some height assistance, you kind of get like a good view, and you do easily find like an epicenter for a path of destruction. Whatever this is, it made it to the center of camp, and then it unleashed a torrent of energy and damage throughout the camp. You can see a lot of the tents that they've begun clearing away. You can see like single puncture holes in the tents that are like blackened and scarred on like all of the tents, and they all seem to like originate from this point at different angles that they all just like dispersed outward.
So it's like whatever this is was some sort of bomb, of some sort. Just shot all these bits and pieces into all these tents. And
yeah, it went like
ruined
individual.
everyone's
Yeah, it like
lives.
went into like individual shots instead of like it wasn't like a big like wide dispersal. Yeah, it wasn't like an even dispersal. It like single targeted like all of these people. Like
And
it
from
hit
the,
people. Like tents full of equipment are unharmed.
it specifically only
It specifically hit people.
And obviously from some of the way these tents are going, it hit people that it couldn't
See.
in theory see.
Yes.
What's the line of sight look like? Like, can I see the woods like off in the distance? Is there a straight line through this destruction all the way back to the trees in the distance? Like from the epicenter?
Sorry, one more time. I got interrupted. Yet again. Sorry.
Perfect.
I had a sign up that says "Do not disturb," and people don't respect it.
Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, if Arbiter like moves to the very center, right, observing the chaos, is there like a direct line that he can look down that is straight to the trees?
Yeah. How good's your vision?
Say pretty decent, you know, except for the curvature of the earth when you're below 4 foot tall, but you know.
I mean, you're on a ladder. Hitting at the right angle, you might be able to see jewels up a straight path.
Well, not after they're in the trees, but whatever.
Even then, like you see, like there's like almost a viewpoint as you get like a height. You could see like a singular portion of like the tree line makes a line of sight to.
Dragonborns don't have dark vision.
Yeah.
Mine
so
does.
You'd be able to see me fine.
He does.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried. Neither do Minotaurs.
But you can see
so...
like as you get height, you can see like through the tree line there's like a perfectly manicured and cleared visual point to clearing through that hole in the wall.
Interesting. And then like just as we come back down.
A folding ladder is a magic item in your future.
Yeah, right.
Excuse me.
What does the ground here look like? Does it look like it was blasted? Are there
in the center of the camp?
Yeah, just at the center of this, like is the grass laid out like
there is like
a bomb blast or
there's like a trail from the wall, like a straight line from the wall. Straight off like into the clearing up the road. It's like a straight path where everything is kind of like decayed and like dying. There's like a straight line that is about 15 foot wide of just like decay.
So like just that 15 foot swath of grass and dirt and looks like everything.
Yeah, so it's like a 15 feet wide and it's just a straight line that goes off into the tree line.
Okay. And where is this in relation to the commander's tent for this camp?
The commander's tent would be on the western edge, so this would have stopped directly in front of it. Like it got parallel with it. But the tent would be on the opposite end of the camp.
Indeed. Huh. And there's no puncture hole on the commander's tent.
Nope.
So
Nothing.
Okay.
The commander's tent looks pristine from the outside. It's the inside that's all red and sticky.
Perfect. I don't know that yet, but I will. Last thing, just as a let me try out something fun, supposedly. It's been obviously like what 3 to 4 days since this has happened.
Mhm.
Trying to think which skill I want to use to possibly waste. Let's say for right now we will use Divine Sense.
Okay.
And I
Refresh
wanna
memory
know
on
if-
everything that lets you detect.
Well, I'm gonna pick Undead,
Okay.
obviously.
What's the AoE on that?
60 feet. Open your detection. You know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type, but not its identity. Within the same radius, you detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hollow spell.
The ground that you stand upon, the entirety of the camp, has been desecrated.
So it's fully fucked
The
up.
whole thing is thoroughly fucked. The ground beneath your feet is fucked.
Cool. Just wanted to like, so it's definitely, this was not an explosion. We've all kind of like been chasing that thread. Wanted to make sure we kept chasing that thread. This is, yeah, shit happened. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Now, I wait for my guys to return while I'm pondering.
Lath was never very far. Just
Yeah, I'd
So
probably
Lath-
be the last.
Lath would be first.
according to these whatever attacked here, red walls are the new style.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me there's some splatter art in that tent there?
Quite. And nothing else. Just blood splatter coating the entire place nearly.
Well,
Nothing else seemed disturbed, just beside one paper or journal was missing, removed after the blood, but nothing else was disturbed.
Interesting. Well, Commander did say that they never found a body. Guess that explains why. Although,
Well, they had to try really hard if they're going to make the whole body mist. But there was definitely more than one person's worth of blood there, so I don't know if
more than one.
It seemed to be only one person standing at the desk when the explosion happened.
Interesting.
Explosion of body.
And you said there's something missing.
Yes, there's other papers on the desk. I didn't get a good look at those quite yet, but something, a journal or paper was missing, so that being the only thing stolen is likely very important to them.
Wonderful. I guess my next one would probably be day, maybe? It depends on if the Minotaur is going to wait for the twink.
A minute? Walk into a...
How is it, Volo? Are you gonna wait for the twink or not?
You walked into the woods. I don't know when you're coming back. So once I have my relevant
I might not.
information, I'm going to return to the commander. Captain.
Our twink's on the run. Get him. New campaign. We hunt down the other two. We hunt down the twink.
Nah.
But I imagine that I would arrive after the Therian, considering he was only in the medical tent. But I am taller, so maybe I walk faster.
It's one
There's
of
a
the big
possibility.
boys. I don't
Would you
know. He
rather
did
go first,
kind of.
Willem?
He did kind of faff about with the extra talking and the.
So, if when I return, then I will give you the details of what I found. First and foremost, It seems that the bodies that have been left behind, the affliction, I think we can all agree, is necrotic energy of some sort.
Definitely.
I've been told after looking at the body that it is indicative of the others. And my best guess is what is occurring is some form of rapid necrosis being set upon these individuals. The manner of exposure is interesting. There's this repeated pattern of circular points. Upon then hitting the target, the effect expedites dramatically. So maybe potentially a beam of some sort or a tendril, potentially, that delivers this thing. Last but not least, when they came to the gate, the fortifications of the wall, it did appear that it wasn't necessarily necrotic energy that took it down, but rather something large, potentially metal, something hard bashed through it at great force and with great speed. Potentially, this might be a siege weapon of some sort, or a beast. I'm not sure.
Indeed. Also, the spray is very deliberate and arbitrary, kind of like points to like 3 tents, and 2 of them have holes in them, and 1 of them doesn't. And it's all very much like a it hit them without necessarily seeing them.
There was no
And it did
hole
that
in the
everywhere.
captain's tent, as far as I saw.
Or maybe potentially a sudden dispersion of force, something that happened instantaneously but not repeat.
Well, what I'm saying is the tents that don't seem to be occupied didn't get hit. Only the ones that
To
were
life.
occupied. So either it doesn't need to see, or it can see really, really well.
It sees the living, maybe.
Maybe.
Vatharian walks up in that moment when he's talking about whether they could see, doesn't need to see or sees really, really well, or can move, and he starts to speak, or can move fast enough to discern whether it is occupied or not. So Datharian steps between both Vonu and Abishur. Excuse me. And he begins to describe what the soldier have seen. So what the injured have told me inside the tent alongside the priest there is that it is a type of magic that is halting a healing process, not allowing it to fully form. You know, what the soldier has told me inside, that it was a creature dark enough that it could almost not be seen, but it also moved quite quickly, and that it was quadrupedal in nature.
A beast, then. This is true. This is what he said.
This is what he has told me.
Having spent many years on this front in this war, is there any knowledge that I have of beasts that the vampiric forces have used that is similar to this? These facts that we have now?
One more time.
Well, I'm asking God. Hold on, let me go into my inner monologue
talking in
God
chat.
question. Hey God, real quick question.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah. Real quick
Sidebar,
question
God,
for
sidebar.
God.
It's me and
Sidebar with God.
Chelsea.
Hi, it's me, the actor Dylan. I'm wondering about Luna's been on this battlefield for a while. Is this this creature now that I know it's a creature, like the effects here, is this something that's ever been like used before, like in the fronts and the reports that I've read and things like that? Like
This
there
does
like
not
a history to identify, or is this completely new thing?
completely new. I mean, it sounds like you're like it's like quadrupedal. Like there could be a lot of things. There's a lot of creatures that are quadrupedal. There's lots of dragons that are quadrupedal. There's lots of things, but this kind of damage, this kind of destruction, and the description of it, not really anything you've ever heard of. No reports or anything like it. It is new and it's decimated real quick. there's been some like mages that have done stuff similar to this that you would probably have heard about.
If that is the case, then I think then it's safe to say
you're not horseman anymore.
Not horseman.
Your voice
No,
is
you,
no. You
Oh,
turned
you
your
do not
voice
have
off.
voice activation.
Your voice
Oh,
is turned off. No.
You're not modulated.
No.
Modulated?
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
There you go.
A little bit of a harsher push.
On and off, on and off.
I will ask this then. So my assumption then, I'll say this to the group is, this is not exactly a beast that I've heard of in the fighting in the front, but what makes me believe is what we're dealing with is a homunculus, a creation of some sort. This is within the vampires' wheelhouse to create beasts. And I think that maybe potentially this is what we are dealing with, a new beast, bred for war, created
Yeah,
their magics.
Now,
It's quadruped, but it could be artificial.
Vuno, I could agree with that statement, given there are not many quadrupedal creatures that are known as of yet.
Jules would walk up now and be like, "Oh my god, I hate when I'm not inviting to meetings. Am I late?" And just like quickly scuttles into the group. I have found
Jaytharian just kind of
interesting-
glares.
Oh, kinky. I have found fun information. There is clearing in woods with desecrated animal bodies, moisture sucked out. Seems like the very life essence was sucked out. He pulls out the piece of paper with the writing on it and hands it to Abishur. I also found these glyphs. It's incomplete, I apologize. I am not Arcanist. But it's interesting you say that is homunculi because there are no steps of homunculi through woods. It is just normal footsteps. Just a single set. And then the footsteps appear right on the outside of the wall. Much like it was summoned magically.
With this, if I recall, one of the first things that Captain Copperboard mentioned was a hunting folkbake that had come an hour before this attack. Maybe this was an effect of the summoning ritual which you have found.
I don't think you're incorrect. It seems very weirdly lined up. But it was a good distance away.
I mean, hold on, you said a clearing
Yes.
that way. He
Yes.
points directly at the tree line. He's like,
can Jules line up and try to see if he sees it?
he taps taps Bruno on the shoulder. And is like, you see it, right? I had to get raised, but you see it. It's within view.
And you kind of turn and you kind of like lean up a little bit further, stand as straight as you can, like lean over. You can get like almost a line of sight to a small clearing that is getting sunlight off into the woods. You can almost see like a viewport throughout the tree line. Kind of goes uphill a little bit, and you're like,
Vona, I'd appreciate help to be able to see it so I could be able to tell you if it was correct clearing.
Bruno just sighs and just one hand right underneath picks you up, hoists you.
Yes, that is the one. That is where I was at. Wait, why can you? Oh, interesting. Well, yes, it seems like they are inextricably linked then. Is there
Wait, hold on.
It's-
You mentioned that there was only humanoid footprints?
only
There was-
humanoid?
So it's not
It
just
seemed-
this beast.
No, the beast had no influence on the woods at all. No broken trees, no footsteps. It truly is like it appeared outside of the wall.
Conjured.
I will say, I also doubt that the footprints are vampire too. Vampires have a much lighter step. It seems like small human, maybe?
A mage.
Mage would be a good guess.
So we must find this sorcerer. It seems to be the most problematic way of pursuing this.
Yes.
Arbiter like takes a step away from the group,
I lower Jules down.
and
Thank you, my hero.
there's a moment where he like kind of mutters to himself, and he's gonna send a message through his claw to Captain Copperborn. My darling, I have a couple questions for you if you'd come meet us again. We think we have a very basic understanding of what's happened here.
Does that give you the ability? Does that give them the ability to reply back?
It's the same thing as the message spell.
Oh,
25
excellent.
Words. You can reply to this message.
Heard, Commander. I will be over shortly. And you guys can, yeah, it takes like less than 10 minutes before she comes striding into camp, flanked by two other Dragonborn, both of blue skin, in heavy chain, carrying glaives over their shoulders, just kind of marching in. Actually, halberds would be more on brand, so silvered halberds.
When she gets close, Jewel bows and goes, "I am so sorry for your loss."
Thank you. That is very kind. Now, you said you had information. I must attest. She kind of like looks, looks at the sky. I'll admit that was a lot faster than I was expecting to get any results. But regale me. What have you discovered?
Well, number one, I have a question for you.
Yes.
There seems to be something missing from the commanding officer's tent. Something taken after the bloodbath.
And according to your men, you were the only one to enter after.
Insight check.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll insight if you want. She's just gonna say,
I'm not trying to be accused. He's not trying to be accusing with it, but like.
Yeah. She just goes, I
10.
will admit I entered the tent. I did not notice anything outside of my lieutenant was missing.
Can I roll insight?
I didn't. Yeah, anybody that wants to roll insight can. But I did not. I have not yet taken inventory of what is missing. I was too busy cataloging my lost troops and repositioning my other unit a little further south.
Of course, Commander.
I got a 24.
She comes off as genuine. Like, she's like, I actively don't know what the fuck is in that tent. I have not gone to take inventory yet.
You mentioned that this subordinate of yours was a rising star. What are his accomplishments? What made him a shining example for the soldiers of Eth?
It was one of our newer promotions. A young scaleborn. They are half-born. Their lineage is draconic in nature, but they are of mixed breed. It is unusual to find one who is of mixed descendancy, let alone to see them so dedicated to the rise of Ith. Kraben is a close friend. I knew his father, and I served with him before he retired out. Kraben is of a red-scaled descendancy, so he does have the ability to rise as an officer. He does have a claim, though many are concerned. His mother comes from Malkavia. She is not a vampire, but she is from enemy territory. It is a bit of disgrace on his part. He is up and coming for having taken place in the Bloodfelling. He used his connections from his mother's side of the family to get access to a vampire lord's land a little bit north of here. And he used that leverage to gain our troops access through the back entrances, and he just now returned back to active duty. So that's what got him his promotion to squadron lead.
So this potential intel that has been taken could potentially be Malkavian secrets, since he has this stained background.
It could be, yes. If it was his personal journals, it could be. He kept a number of those, but he always kept one on hand when he served.
Is this mother of Malkavian descent? Is this region that he is tied to close to here?
His family, from what I know, is his father. When he retired out of the military, he moved north and they settled in New Loch Quay. It's a newly captured town that is looking for newer settlements on the shores of the Gold Bottom Lake.
The Malkavian mother, is she from around here?
No, she originally hailed from Grisha. It was one of the first captured towns, but she is still of Malkavian descent. Many of the relocation efforts had not been established yet during the time of her birth. But yes,
Malkovia are just normal people.
Many of them are, yes. It's an important distinction in this war that we aren't just conquerors, we are liberating those who do not wish to be subjugated under vampiric control and used as feed. Or who do not wish to find themselves a pawn in a centuries-old revenge scheme from one noble lord to another.
Don't think anyone would enjoy that role.
Yes, it's obviously much better here.
I would agree with you. It's considerably better to live your life as a person and not as cattle.
Anyway, with our new information, Captain, I'm sure you possibly know, depending on how much you've investigated yourself, there's a ritual site in the woods beyond that line. Seems as though some sort of mage conjured whatever beast your dying troops have recounted to Ditharion. Used it to break down your walls, and then it, in some sort of
That is
arcane or necromantic way.
That is less good news then.
Oh, it's all bad news, but it's information you might not have had.
I do have one question.
Yes.
Did they ever see the beast leave?
We only had the one survivor that is of communicative capability, and
did he ever say he saw the beast leave?
he did not. He was unconscious.
So absolutely no one saw this thing leave this camp.
No one alive.
Assumed it vaporized with whatever it emitted.
What if it blew up?
Yeah.
It's possible.
I think that following that logic, it tends to what would be the case if it was just a summon. The core of this creature, its secrets lie in the mage that created it.
Exactly.
Seek out this individual.
My fear is the weapon is the mage itself, nothing actually fun.
Quite fun.
It will be a thing. We'll have to keep an eye out on. I think for today, we found what we can. Call it, set up our own camp. With your people, of course, Captain Copperborn. We'll buff your watches for the evening, and we'll
Thank you. I
see
am
what happens.
going to need to requisition Gresha to send us an arcane practitioner or two. I only had one in my squadron, and they were unfortunately here.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
It is fine. We will recover. I am saddened by the loss of my troops and the decimation of one of my squads, but that is how war goes. We must continue forward and prevent this kind of disaster from happening again.
Jules is gonna look at her solemnly and go, based on what you've told us about them, I know their light will be with it.
I don't know if that's the most comforting statement coming from you.
She kind of looks
Oh,
you
she
over,
doesn't
and
know
she's
that.
like, she just
She
kind of
doesn't
looks
know
you over,
that.
and she's like,
You want me to roll performance, bitch, or deception? I got it.
yeah,
Let's go.
I would say roll performance if you're trying to make this come off as sincere. Are you wearing any like iconography of Ith in your like wardrobe?
We're the army, aren't we?
I'm gonna go a solid no on that.
Yeah, I was like,
What
I
do you want
mean,
me to
there's a
roll?
difference between like, right, and like having like a cross pendant. Essentially, it's like, yeah, I'm wearing my military uniform, and it's like,
Do you want performance or deception? Deception's much higher than performances.
I mean, yeah, you're trying to sell a religious
So that's
spiel,
gonna be
so
a
I'd say deception.
15.
Okay. She kind of looks you over and she's like, it's good to see that the word of the matron mother is reaching the ears of those who might not necessarily find warmth in her messages. But perhaps if you continue to your service, maybe you will find redemption. And then
Jules
embracing
holds back a laugh.
embracing the light. But I must now see to the fortifications and get a couple more scouts out and available for my own safe and well-being. And she just kind of like looks up into the sky and she goes, I'd send the word to my other scouts to be on the lookout as well. Is there anything else you require of me?
The place where you would like us to make our camp, and who we can help reinforce for the night.
You are capable troops and units. You can we can requisition you a quarter. Do you have tents or anything that you need? Any equipment you require?
Everybody should have a tent.
We have our own accommodations.
Excellent.
The best idea to camp in camp.
Yes,
of course.
we can move some of our equipment tents and consolidate. We can make you space. We can give you a quarter.
Thank you, Captain.
Befitting of your positions, of course. We shall see. I'm going to mention for my other squad to start moving this way. Having a few more Dragon Knights would greatly benefit us in our defense abilities. But I leave it to you to determine your distribution of your squad for the evening. We follow our standard patrol hours of every 4 hours we rotate fresh troops in throughout the night shifts. I currently only have the 60 troops plus my 20 healers.
Well, now you have 21 healers and 64 troops.
I guess my question while we set up camp is if you have any dead that lay unburied.
We know looks to the skeletons just littering the place.
We are.
Yes, there's quite a few there.
We are.
As far as I was informed, they were completely eradicated into literal
dust and some
Particles
skeletons
of
remain.
dust.
Oh,
Yeah.
some skeletons.
Okay.
They
Okay.
Yeah,
are
some
very
skeletons
underground,
remain.
that
It's
works.
a lot of they've slowly been like removing tents, but they knew you guys were coming, so they didn't want to disturb the
Anything.
scene for investigation before you guys were like, all right, cool, you guys could disassemble the crime scene now.
So Dave's
So-
idea of this is if there's any that had recently passed, not from being vaporized and haven't been buried yet, he would like to help in burying those dead and perhaps saying a prayer for them to help guide.
He wants to go around and
the
give
road.
last rites. He wants to
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
show.
The other two
no,
that are
Wilson's
in
not.
the intensive care are not going to make it through lunch. They will be mercy
Speaking of those
killed.
two,
Spare the dying.
Before, does that? Dave, do you mention that they're
That there are people about to
they're
die.
gonna euthanize two people because they can't figure out what's wrong with them?
I didn't realize that they were going to euthanize them because that
They
wasn't.
told you that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to
They
mercy
said they were
kill
gonna
them
kill
because
them
they have
by the end of the day.
they have no solution
I
for it,
missed
and
that
they're
part.
in excruciating pain. One of them is
missed that
missing a
part.
major portion of their abdomen, so even if they cure it, they don't necessarily know that this person is going to be able to recover.
I was too busy going through my fucking spells to see if there's anything that I could do.
This nerd over here reading through his spell book. Do I got
I'm
anything
a
that can
medic,
help
not a
with this?
miracle worker.
Yeah, I'm a medic, not a miracle worker.
Listen,
Well,
a
because-
necromancer is just a doctor that got there too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like
That's the second
Yeah.
doctor you call. I've called I've called a cleric and a necromancer. Either way, he's gonna get back up.
Yeah.
you get your pre,
Yeah.
your during, and your
Well-
post.
Well, I do have revivify.
Do you have the diamond?
The diamond.
Reposition one of those.
Basically, just before we break into setting
Oh,
up
you're right.
camp, I want to make a presence at that tent. I want to see the rot.
I'd like to see it too.
Why would you want to see it?
So would I.
Yeah.
Just to see what they're up against. So Day, I'm just gonna have Day escort them over to the tent, and then he slides his hand into the entrance of the tent and then pulls it to the side, higher than his shoulder as far as it'll go, just to allow the rest of his squad to peer in or even enter.
Arbiter will enter.
So will
Go on.
Jules.
Perfect.
Oh, you don't want Jules there.
No, I
So
don't
what,
mind
does
you
Laugh-
being.
Does Laugh go in or no?
Yeah.
Arbiter, you hear in your head with a little bit of telepathy. You can't respond, unfortunately. Unless if I can possibly get a bit of their blood, maybe I can sniff out any oddities.
Mm. Arbiter just kind of like as he's walking in, you see his shoulders like bunch up, and then they relax again. Okay.
As you all enter the medical tent, you guys do see the large, quarter abdomen wound that is just like festering and peeling. That person has gone still since you were in here, Day. And they're currently just like taking like the tourniquets off to like try and isolate the wound. You have a priest standing by, like getting ready like their prayer beads, and they're like resuming last rites. And they're setting out
Is he dead?
incense. And that one is dead. Yes, the one missing the arm and the leg they're currently tourniqueting off another arm that
Jesus.
is like festering away, and they're like, do we even need to like try and cut it? So they're currently, two of them are like debating like whether or not they should try and like cut the arm off to like stop the infection spread, but they're like, it's not really. The other two limbs didn't seem to stop it, so I don't necessarily know that we need to do this. He's just gonna die within the next few hours anyway.
Acolytes, may I bother you?
Of
Have your
course.
attention.
What can we do for you, Commander?
Have you exhausted every avenue available to you?
Everything that we can use to identify what is happening here, we have. None of our spells have done much more than slow it. Nothing we have attempted to use to identify or cure it has done it. Whatever is causing this damage, it is not bacterial. It resists treatment of all kinds.
What have you used to try and identify it?
Magic, medical dictionaries, vast knowledges of known diseases and treatments and ailments.
What kind of magic?
Identify particularly. It's the only thing that we...
Oh, divination magic.
outside of identify, it doesn't ping on a detection of magic. It is... While it appears to be some sort of affliction, it is not a curse. At least none that we are capable of breaking.
May I try one
Bruno,
thing?
Common
Bruno's
spell.
going to walk over and put his hand on the individual chest. And
You gonna do the thing that I was gonna do?
yeah, probably. And he's going to spend 5 lay on hand points to see if that cures the affliction.
Sure. So you watch as your divine essence and energy kind of like seeps into this person. And you watch those black veins begin to like retract up the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And like the pulsating stops and the whole thing kind of dims and stops decaying. But you see like the damage is still there and the wound still festers. And they're like,
So
yes,
it starts spreading again after that.
Yeah, it's like a couple of like
All
maybe
right.
maybe a minute or two. You watch the veins begin to like creep higher up it, and they're like, whatever it is, it's an antithesis to all of our healing and all things we have attempted.
So once Bruno sees that, he's going to, that hand that was placed upon the soldier's shoulder is going to now kind of move up towards his neck. And he's going to look at him. Is this individual conscious or not?
No, these people are, if they aren't unconscious from the pain, they're sedated.
He's just going to lean in and whisper into his ear. Who you think you must be? And that hand's just going to move up and
You just grab his head and just kind of give it a quick twist. Fucking Andre the Giant's hand here, just.
Jules
he'll then
quietly
He'll then stand up from leaning over and he'll look at the soldiers in the room. And he'll say, "This hand holds the mercy of youth, but it will also make a promise to you. Whatever has done this will die by it. For in this light, we will destroy the creatures of this land that would corrupt what is good."
Harbinger just.
And then he will begin making his way out of the tent.
Yeah, a number of people just like begin to like kind of crowd around, and they like begin issuing prayers and saying prayers and just kind of.
While
Jules
everyone
also
is
quietly prayers.
while everyone's distracted with the fresh death, because apparently my muscle is executioner now.
New title, Squad Executioner.
Do you want me to use my gun to shoot him in the head?
The whole of D Squad, man, this guy is dying, everyone. Well, I mean, that's a free kill for me.
That's free experience right there.
So while everyone is focusing on the new death, Arbiter is going to look at the other bed. Is there any like blood-soaked bandage that is readily accessible off of that corpse?
Yeah.
Make it so it slides into a pocket.
Okay.
And then Arbiter, obviously, aside from like this side goal of getting that, there's not really a lot of emotion on the face. Head's kind of tilted down. Gone. Like out. Going. Away. Does not want to see this bullshit. Kind of can't believe that you did that. Not necessarily your place.
Mercy.
Yeah, Jules is quietly looking at the freshly dead body and praying to Manasura.
The goddess of death.
Mm-hmm. And
Not a religious man.
Yeah, I think Vuno, like I said, like once he's said that piece to the people who are there, he's just making his way up.
If you pass Jules, you'll hear Jules quietly say, "Thank you," and as you walk out.
Vuno, I think,
Metasora will accept this sacrifice.
yeah, Vuno kind of pauses for a moment but continues walking, and once he leaves, he'll just go and start organizing our camp, make sure it's set up by the time anybody else comes by.
So everyone who remains in the room after the death to watch as the prayers go out. The two bodies that have been festering and decaying, as soon as death takes them, you guys watch as the creeping black veins begin to retreat back into the wound, leaving scarred, blackened tissue, but the creeping tendrils just kind of fetter away and kind of like tighten and seize up, and the wounds just look like burnt, ionized, charred, and like disintegrated holes in the flesh.
Who
Just a
else
few
is in
minutes
the
after death.
infirmary still?
You.
Gaetharian.
Okay. Jules is gonna look at the clerics that were in here and go, "How do you dispose of the body?" I think it might
Military
be smart.
tradition dictates that we must burn the corpse.
Okay, good. That was my hope in this moment.
We wrap it in prayers and then engulf the bodies in sacred fire.
Alright, then.
Don't be downwind of it just to be safe, I'd suggest.
This is gonna
Oh,
be
yes.
really. This is almost gonna be wasteful of me, but
We're going to bed, so you'll get all your spell slots back.
Got here.
Oh, okay.
In the morning now.
Mhm.
okay. So, I think what I want to do for Daetharian, just to kind of inspire the troops that are around, is I'm gonna have them collect the dead and build a pyre for it.
Mhm.
And then have Daetharian say a prayer for the dead, and then cast his breath attack or the breath weapon on the pyre, which would be what is it, celestial, or is it this like a sacred?
It'd be radiant damage.
It's radiant.
So is it more of like a fire, or is it more of just like a beam?
I feel like that's to your I was like, that's to yours. Do you have radiant Godzilla lasers?
That would be fucking hilarious. And then
You
I
just
started
glow from the
firing my
inside
laser.
and just a laser beam of
I'm
holy radiation. Turns out radiant damage isn't radiant, it's radiation. That's what the R stands for. The gods are just radioactive.
I think I'm just gonna keep it as like it's just a radiant
white
fire.
Yeah,
like a sacred fire.
Yeah.
We'll say. So he'll light the funeral pyre with his breath weapon, being the radiant fire. So.
All right. So, as you guys make camp, the commander dispatches a pair of Bloodhawks north, and then one that travels south from your position to alert for a call for a mage and to alert others to be on the lookout for any wanderers upon the road in their territory. Is there anything you're doing overnight before you head to bed?
Yeah, Jules is gonna find liquor and just offer everyone a glass after the day.
You find the Dragonborn called Liquor. You know, see what the hell you want with
them. No, but seriously, like, yeah, give me
a dry camp.
I actually had written out a prayer that I was actually gonna say for it. I wasn't sure if you were actually gonna do the whole thing, but so I had written this out for it. I'll put it in. You want me to just say it? Or?
Yeah, read it. Come on, read it, nerd.
Idiot.
Yeah,
come on, read it, nerd. Coward.
Or make it a copy pasta for the Twitch chat at least.
Fun fact: he can't read. No, I'm kidding.
I was spawned in with a spawned egg not 4 weeks ago.
When my parents were late to my own birth.
Mama Eighth kind of tossed me, and I heard in the distance upon my birth, Kobe.
Kobe and also Yeet.
The dragon goddess called down upon the world. Yeet, my children descend.
All right, so I guess here's Brian. May you always walk in sunlight, and its warmth flow around you. For the service you gave us, no one may ever know. It breaks our hearts to lose you in service of Ith, but you do not go alone. A part of us went with you. Today is the day that Ith called you home. 1,000,000 times we've called you, and 1,000,000 times you've responded. But now you respond to one final call, the call of Ith and her peoples to a higher purpose. Ith be with you, and may you serve and watch over us in peace.
Very good. It's very good.
I'm just laughing at fucking Budo's gift. Praise Lord, hallelujah.
Praise be. I'm not there.
I'm not there. And then he just opens his maw, and a radiant flame just erupts from his mouth to engulf this pyre built of
a number of the clerics that service the camp are also standing by, and they're adding sacred flames to it. Glittering
Hail Mary.
Jules can't stand to look at any of this.
A glittering bonfire on the edge of the camp is set of platinum flames. It flickers late into the night.
My part.
Is there anything else anyone would like to do before bed?
Well,
Again, I'm getting drinks for everyone.
Yes.
That bloody rag.
I mean, I'm setting up camp so that when they're done with all this, that they come back and the tents are done.
All right. So is this a short rest?
What the good house husband? Everything's already so done, Bono. You are marriage material yet.
The duty of a lieutenant is to have the group operating at peak efficiency, so that the decisions can be made without having to worry about things like this.
I don't think we're ever operating at peak proficiency.
I'm glad we are admitting this. We can work from this. We have to first admit the mistakes.
Oh, don't mistake me. I have no intention on improving.
Also, Lath, how are you doing, dear? Are you thirsty?
I'm quite fine.
Okay.
I would.
Jules pulls out a liquor bottle and goes,
Perfect.
"Do you think I am idiot? That almost hurts more than the genuine insults, Vono."
I forget. Do we know about? It's just because I forget about. Okay, we do know. Wait, I'm pretty sure you guys know. I don't know if Datharian knew.
I think you do.
Yeah.
You got the dossier.
Yeah.
What do we know?
You got a big dossier, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
You definitely know about Lath.
Oh, disgusted.
But
That's right. That was disgusted. I remember now.
I will definitely take a swig for sure.
Notice how Day has not interacted with Lay at all.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You're going to touch me, and I will be the next one to vaporize.
I'll take first watch, though. Not that I don't trust our brothers in arms, but I think we should be maintaining our own capacity for security.
I don't need sleep. So.
Oh yeah.
We will never sleep. Sleep is for the weak. No, we will never rest.
Wait, you need sleep, right, Dave?
That's better. All right. Arbiter kind of like strolls back in camp. You guys, liquor
is offered. He's offered a glass.
Of course. No, thank you. Lath, I need you.
Follows him.
We walk a little bit outside of our little camp, away.
Day hands Vono a keg instead of a mug.
So
Yeah, Jules sits outside and just drinks.
today was a lot. I hope it wasn't too challenging for you.
I'll assume this is much harder for me to be around than it is. As long as I'm not. Jules does a good job of taking care of me.
Well, that's good to hear. In the meantime, though, I am required of your services. And he reaches in between two plates on his armor and produces the cloth rag.
Thank you.
That's from the first, with the gaping chest wound.
I'll give it a sniff before I taste it, but I'm essentially checking for if it seems like normal, healthy, or if it's like there's something. I mean, I don't think it's gonna taste healthy, but there's something real noticeably wrong with it.
Yeah. As you give it a sniff, it does smell like rotted and like grievously infected.
But like in a natural sense, really, like.
Yeah.
Smell
Then
anything.
if you give it a little tasty taste,
just a little touch, so he does not catch
great.
whatever the fuck.
and
Like-
yeah, you would notice a distinctly sour taste. That you really can't place. Yeah, you've never licked something like this before.
Crunches. In their blood.
Kind of like that, like the chemical taste when you're like someone sprayed like Pledge in the air and you like walk through and you can taste it. You're just like chemical. And you're like, what the fuck?
Whatever it is in their blood or affected their blood, but I don't really know.
Wow.
It's disgusting.
Disgusting.
Understood. Well, I need to have a talk with Bruno, I believe, as well.
We don't talk about food.
Today was
no.
today was I think we all went a little overboard in maintaining our rumors,
I thought
myself included.
we'll be trying not to do that.
I thought that was the point, Dad.
Sometimes it's
Yes,
the point.
Papa.
I don't know if it was necessary for Captain Copperborn. We'll have a
I'm
discussion.
Not a professional, and I don't pretend to be.
It will be okay. These things
You don't
can be
call us when you
forgiven.
need professionals. You call us when you need results. The commander is dying.
No,
There you
no, my
Are you good, buddy?
Father, help.
Sorry, it's all that coal dust from back. In the day.
he's having a Vietnam flashback. Is inhaling coal dust.
Yeah. Go on. Let's get dinner sorted out and figure out where our watches need to go.
And so your watches begin.
And so it began.
Each of you can give me a perception and tell me what order people are taking breakdown commander. As it's your job to assign, but people can volunteer for different shifts.
You can see very well in the dark. The darkest of dark.
That's great until you remember that there's actively an entire class of ranger that just goes, fuck you for being able to see in the dark.
I think Devil Sight overrides because I don't rely on dark vision. I rely on Devil Sight.
if you have Devil Sight, then
It's the Gloomstalker being like a gloaty bitch just strutting through the darkness and you're just watching him.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Jules is right there.
Normal vampires cannot see me, though. I know that for a fact. 23.
20.
Even with guidance, I got a 10.
Oh, baby day.
All right. What positions are people taking at night?
I can take the full night. Like,
Jules,
it's
don't
fine.
answer that question.
It was like she's gonna say missionary.
It's a solemn day. Let me have my peace. Jesus.
I'll take the. Let's see. We're gonna be. It's what, 4 shifts?
I
If
will
it's every
say,
4 hours.
Yep, it's 4
Leth and
shifts
I
every
do
4
not
hours.
need the same amount of sleep as you three do.
I'll take the middle shift at the gate of this new encampment. I want to be on the wall.
Well, me and Vonu will be replenishing the energy that it takes to operate our huge bodies throughout the entire night.
They have a 12,000 calorie deficit every day. They have to eat an entire chicken each just to make it through lunch.
Poor bastards.
That's the side thing that you don't see is constantly is Vono. Yeah, Vono and Day are both just snacking constantly
food.
throughout the day.
Fueled on almonds.
Calorie dense granola bars.
So many
Yeah.
shakes.
It's okay. We'll get you a feed bag.
I've got a dragon. Wow. I've got a dragonborn day
Brutal.
ration, the average human. This is a loaf of bread? Yes. 2 jars of peanut
Can that
butter.
be meat flavored?
Jules is gonna sit outside the tent with his legs crossed, sipping on alcohol and kind of intermittently trancing. And it's just because I'm still aware when I'm trancing, so I'm just gonna be there all night, just quietly drinking to myself.
All right.
Do you want to take up a different shift, or you want to join me on my shift?
Because I don't believe Lath needs to sleep, does he?
Yeah, that depends on DM if we decided if Lath was staying the same way with before, like, still the elf stuff.
I mean, it's your call.
Or-
Whichever you
Well,
wanna...
no. Wait. Give me a second before you say something.
Vampires need to sleep. I don't need to breathe.
Are you sure? Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I wanted the invocation that lets me not sleep, but I had to take tome.
Gotcha.
But I don't think it's game breaking to have me also trance.
Damn, this fucks up my game plan so much. I have to just God, I have to sleep sort of for 4 hours. Ugh.
When Lath is up for the 4 non-trancing hours, I will stay with Abishur because I don't trust anyone that is not our group alone right now in this place.
Okay. So you guys are taking the midnight to 4?
To Thor and Bruno are just gonna sleep because we're not needed.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So my midnight to 4 crew. You're awake and on duty when the first hawk arrives. In the dead of night, a bloodhawk descends to the center of camp.
Cool.
The captain immediately springs from their tent and rallies all to arms.
Quick second, because I want to know before it happens. I see the Bloodhawk. She still has my weird totem.
Yeah.
I go into a trance so that I can see and hear like I'm there. I go deaf and blind to myself. But I'm with her.
Yeah. A trooper brings in a note, and the commander's in bed at this point, and this person stores the commander, a message for you. She kind of rouses, and she stands up, and literally that person immediately just starts putting armor on her because she's getting out of bed. So he immediately just starts dressing her, like throwing a chain shirt on, and she just starts like gauntleting as she's tearing open this like missive from the middle of the night. She pulls it out, and you see a hastily scrawled letter. The ink is not dry, and it is smeared with blood. And it just says, help. And she is immediately just like blood smeared across it, and it just help written and just attached to a bird and sent out. You can see that the bird itself is also wounded.
Cool. As soon as we see help and bloody bird and blood, the trance ends, the talon disappears and reappears on my finger. Because that's how that works.
Does it make a gross noise? Like,
Does it regrow? Does it just regrow like very
It
quickly?
regrows. That's what it says it does. It regrows.
Don't forget
and
your token
immediately-
holds up middle finger. Just
Yeah. Immediately look to Lath and like, we have to go now. Go get the boys. Meet me at the commander's tent.
gotta get the boys.
When wake up the boys.
Are you running towards Jules?
Oh, he does not run.
Laugh and a
Walks at
brisk
slightly
stroll.
brisk speed. I have a 35 move speed.
Okay.
I am not running because, let's face it, it would sound like Steiner in Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah.
But I'm making my way straight to her command tent, her like center command in this camp.
Mm.
And I'm not gonna say how I know, but what the fuck's going on? As soon as I get there, to meet,
She's just like
immediate
she's just
question to
got
her.
this like dripping missive like clutched in her talons, and she's just like grabbing her blade, and she's like she raises her hand, and you see a spectral steed appearing before her, and you watch as a gem on her on one of her cloches, a ring, a gem shatters, and she's like, "Grab any who are ready. The 2nd Division's under attack, and we must move."
Let's go.
And
Yeah.
that is where we end tonight.
Okay.
Because I went on pacing tonight. I actually paid attention.
Oh, damn, I want to kill something.
So you
All right, something to look forward to.
guys have to
Um.
make your way and
okay.
race to try and save her 2nd squad.
making my
Jules-
way downtown.
Walking
gonna-
fast.
And
Jules
I'm
is gonna build
homebound.
his gun and smack both Bono in the face with it to wake him up. Wake up!
You got pistol whipped. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're getting pistol whipped essentially because you're like double the size of fucking Jules. So he's like, "Yeah, you'll take it."
Jules
Little top
clambers
hat
up onto the
with
bed,
his head.
just sitting on his chest. Wake up! Wake up!
Just shooting with a rifle next to their head.
How dare you waste my ammo? You know, wait. You fucking there just hears the cock of the gun. I shoot open. How dare you waste my ammo?
I knew it. I always knew it.
You're bolting
All
straight
right.
up in bed and grabbing him. I curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Oh, you're not betraying me? Oh, my bad. Let me just put you down.
Like, grabs him by the throat, lifts him up.
Ooh,
Oh, wait a
creepy.
minute.
I knew this day was
Someone winking at
coming.
you.
Look at fucking Winston just goes,
Yeah.
All
You
right.
can't kill something when it's horny. It's against the rules.
For-
Jules,
for
are you
right
trying to kill
now,
me or thrill me? Because if you're trying to
kill
kill me,
the
you're definitely
thrill.
gonna need to you're gonna need to squeeze a lot harder. But that is
can
gonna
you
do
the
I'm gonna
thing?
close out.
Let's do it.
That's
Kill the
gonna do
feed.
it.
Fuck these people.
Wow,
Fuck 'em.
rude.
We don't like our fans. We like
listen,
Noah.
I'm not a cleric anymore. I can be horny on men. Yeah, fuck those people.
I will
All of you.
I will
You're all in
summon
trouble.
I will summon your wife.
Yeah.
Have you seen her status?
yes.
Just wrote.
No.
Come get your
I'm not
partner. They're looking at
in my
titties.
But I will see some of you specifically for Tarvis and chat. I'm gonna be at Junction Wednesday. Hit me up.
Junction.
I'm gonna be
What's
back.
your
I'm gonna
function?
Oh,
be back in town.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my
Let me know when
childhood
you're off
best
feed.
friend. But thanks everybody
Thanks
for
for
hanging
watching.
out. We will be back next Monday. Woo! I won't be here, so we'll
Yeah,
probably
woo,
be on
whatever.
we'll be on DJ Drip Lizard's Discord
Channel.
that week. Yeah, we will be playing there.
Well, we'll be here, but we just will be streaming.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to
There.
set that up.
Ooh.
Yeah, he'll be doing it. I'm still gonna be in my chair. Fuck you. But it's your stream. If you add funky
Reality is
hats or
subjective.
something, I can't do anything. So
Chairs
thank you
with
all,
active laughter,
and
you
I
speak that
we
way.
appreciate you for coming out. And see you next week when they get to fight something.
Yay.
Bye.